Okay, so we're live. I think we're live anyways. Hold on one second. It is 1:07 a.m. in the morning. It's 8/17, 2025. Let's see here. It is Saturday night, early Sunday morning. And we are good to see everybody so far. Hold on one second. Let me go up here. I know that Mino Dino's here. I know that Paula's here. I see both of them. Hold on a second. Yep, Mino Dino's here. Paula's here. Good to see you guys. Heather Brown, there's Heather Brown right there. Good to see Heather. Hope you're doing well, Heather. Let's see. Jocelyn's here. Hey, Jocelyn, good to see you. Hope you're well. Haven't seen you for a while, but good to see you. Lisa Joe's here. Hey, Lisa Joe, good to see you. I had a question for you. It's Southern Gal. Southern Gal's here. Good to see Southern Gal. Miranda's here. Who else is here? Electric Weircat is here. Good to see Electric Weircat. I think I'm saying that right. Sweet Dude Shibby's here. Good to see Sweet Dude Shibby. And I think that's it. But that's good enough. Anyways, good to see you, everybody. It's good to be back on True Crime because I've been covering the hurricane for the past few days. Big Fish is here. Good to see Big Fish. Once again, the diary question, to my knowledge, Barb didn't have a diary. Do people have diaries anymore? Is that the thing? Because I always ask that question. Because you can sometimes learn a lot from a diary. But again, if the cops do have that, you'll probably never know. I have a couple other. Mustang is here too. Good to see Mustang. Sorry I missed your live. Did you have a live, Mustang? Because I think I was mowing the lawn. I got up about 5 o'clock and then I had to mow the lawn. Tracy's here. The other question I had is: was there ever a? Is there some of those recreation parks? If that was actually a recreation park, I wonder if they had a curfew there. I can figure that out. No one is safe. Our AKS now, Dave. No one is safe is here. Is that Charles? They call them. I don't know what that is. Journals. They don't have diaries anymore. That's at 2. So you had your live at 2. Sorry, I missed it. I'll check the replay. But anyways, all right. So let me play my outro. My intro. Let me see. Hold on a second. Intro. You're always welcome to message me at 5. Okay. Okay. I will do that. I don't have too many questions because I'm pretty sure everybody's been asking you questions over the last few years or so. But it's just names Recreation Park. I know that sometimes parks have a curfew. That's the reason why, because there's so many activities that go on after hours at parks. But I know around here, especially in the bigger cities, they have. I don't want to say that they're probably curfews. I don't know how well they're monitored, but I think there are curfews. Anyways, let me play an intro and we'll get going here. Hold on one second. Let me play. We'll do this one here. I think this is the one. It was at the height of the oil boom. Right. Cops were awful busy, I'm sure. Beasley's here. Good to see Beasley. All right, let me play my intro and I'll be right back. Get rid of my face. Sorry, I was trying to figure something out here. It's so weird because I plan all of these things to go according to plan. But then as soon as I get live or go live, all hell breaks loose. Anyways, what are you gonna do? That's my life. All right, so hold on 1 second. Let me get rid of my face here. Okay, good. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see Tracy in here. Tracy's in here. Southern Gal's in here, of course. Southern Gal's amazing. She does, you know, the best work ever. She's just amazing at what she does. I was over there the other day, driving around all over God's creation, and it was good to see her live. And I don't get the same amount of service that I do a couple years ago. So, but anyways, whoever's got couch got shit on. What the fuck is going on in the chat? Dino's got diarrhea. Oh, that's terrible. Miranda's here. Miranda's awesome. Lisa Joe is here. Everybody everybody's here. It's always good to see everybody. So the first thing we're going to do is I think we're going to go into this because I think I covered this. Didn't we cover this a few months back? Anyways, I'm trying to figure out if this is the same case as the Alston case. But anyways, hold on. Let me share. Hold on 1 second here. It's good to see Heather. Hopefully Heather's doing well. I tried to put the Heather's GoFundMe link in with all of the other stuff. Let me see if that worked. Pretty sure it did. But anyways, it should be scrolling across the bottom here at some point. Heather's GoFundMe. So anyways, you guys remember this? We covered this case. I forget when it was. But anyways, the Georgia woman went missing in 2011 after breaking up with her girlfriend. Remember this? Shondell McLeod's family became concerned when she didn't show up to work, and her ex-girlfriend, Joyce Lewis Pelzer, had an outstanding warrant for threatening McLeod prior to her disappearance. I believe this was in Georgia. Yep. With no concrete evidence, this case seemingly went cold until another woman came forward in 2018, claiming her girlfriend, who happened to be Pelzer, was planning to unalive her ex-wife, Rosalind Lewis. Months later, Lewis was unalived at a Motel 6, that figures, and before she tragically passed, she told detectives who attacked her. So this is a full story about that, and I think, I'm not sure, but I think they arrested somebody. So let's play this first.
You and your family right now.
A messy breakup and a missing woman rocked a small Georgia city in 2011.
Something is not right about this whole story.
It's Gretchen. Gretchen is here, and Lighting the Way Home is here. Lighting the Way Home is also amazing. Great channel. And Mito Dino put the GoFundMe up there too again. Thanks, buddy. Does everybody remember this case? Because I know I do, and I just saw this tonight. Asshole Backwards is here. Good to see Alusa. I think that's the name. Alosa. Dave Bradholder's pooped on someone's couch. Oh. Doing good, Dave. Thanks. Yeah, we hope you're doing well. It's always good to see Lighting the Way Home in here. Don't feel free to throw your channels in here. I know there's some great creators. Mandy Gillian is here. Hey, Mandy, good to see you. A lot of great channels in here. So feel free to throw your channels in here. I know Mustang's got a channel now. I sub to Mustang. I sub to Peggy O. So feel free to throw your chats in here. So play this.
Until 7 years later, when police receive
This is a very strange case here. I remember we covered this. I'm pretty sure it was a few months ago.
a harrowing 911 call.
She bleeding real bad. Somebody stabbed her.
I was in room 214, heard screaming.
The broad right by the knife.
Are you
Soaked in blood that's not mine? Yes.
And investigators learn the two women may have one major thing in common. their lover.
I said, if you decide to shoot me, you make sure my black is dead.
Fool authorities once, shame on you. Fool them twice, good luck with that.
Let me see your hands. Hands.
Yeah, remember we covered this. Remember she tried shooting at them on the highway.
The penalty is death.
Get your family out of here.
Why me? I will have my attorney call you.
So unbelievable.
In December 2018, police officers in DeKalb County, Georgia, receive a tip from a woman who claims her girlfriend is planning to murder her estranged wife. Then, just a few days later, police receive another call.
I think there's a stabbing. Can you send somebody immediately, officer? There's one of them who is watching on the back side.
We're sending someone.
A man at a Motel 6 in Conyers, Georgia, sees a woman leaving room 114 with blood on her hands.
One lady's walking back to the wood, and she's making turns.
Witnesses track the assailant and her vehicle as far as their eyes can see to give officers a head start on what they can only assume will be a manhunt.
Which way is pulling out? Okay, that's a lady. It's a black Nissan. I cannot see the tag. It's a black car. Black Nissan.
Meanwhile, other guests rush to aid the victim, who has fallen over the threshold of her motel room. She's covered in blood and barely able to speak.
She was bleeding real bad.
Okay.
Somebody stabbed her.
Where is she bleeding from?
I think from the chair.
Police and rescue dispatched to the motel, hoping to get there in time to save her.
Okay, where is she?
But it's hard to tell what her future holds. When paramedics arrive, they can see the victim has been stabbed over 30 times in the chest, torso, and legs.
She's bleeding profusely from the abdomen.
She's alive, but her injuries are severe. She has lost a lot of blood, and she is floating in and out of consciousness, making it hard for police to get information out of her.
98 radio. She's in and out of consciousness, breathing pretty heavily at this time.
Hurt.
I know you hurt. I know, honey.
This is going to be very triggering because it's not good.
I've got lots and lots of help and lots of people that are going to come help me with you, okay?
Luckily for law enforcement, the victim isn't the only witness to her attack. Several hotel guests heard screaming, and a few even saw the assailant leaving the scene.
I was in room 214 with a friend of mine. I heard her screaming. We come down, and I asked the lady before she was really going out, I said, is this your dog? She said, no. I said, does it belong to the lady that hurt you? She said, yes. It has rabies tags and everything that could probably trace her or whatnot. I don't know.
Okay. We got the car.
Okay.
According to passersby, the attacker didn't try to conceal her identity. She was wearing a hat, but left her face
Some people are just really dumb.
uncovered.
I heard her say she tried to kill me. When she said that, the broad walked right by me. But I'm tripping because she still got the knife out.
You got baby girl in the room.
Right.
When I first heard the screams, you know, if you're in a motel, you're thinking sex. That's what I thought because they weren't that loud. And I heard thump thump. Then they would get louder and I heard the dog. But I heard the dog and I knew it was coming from the room. So I caught the dog and I come back to her. She was kind of in and out of consciousness. I said, ma'am, what's your name? She said, Ross.
Roz, listen to me. You've got to hold still for me, okay, sweetie, until I can get some help here, okay?
Even with so many stab wounds to the chest, the woman is determined to share two crucial pieces of information with police. Her name, Rosalind Lewis, and the name of her attacker.
Who did this?
Joyce.
Joyce?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know Joyce's last name? Pelzer?
42-year-old Joyce Marie Pelzer. Lewis and Pelzer are married, but their relationship isn't hunky-dory. In fact, it's just about over. Lewis
This is a bizarre case, man.
has been staying at the Motel 6 after leaving the allegedly abusive relationship and has apparently had a restraining order against Pelzer for months.
My wife is here in town. She threatened me a few weeks back.
You literally went to the police for help and nobody helped her at all.
Here.
Your
She-
wife?
Yes, my wife. Okay. A few months ago, I left my wife. She was cheating. Long story short, I left. Turned off everything, and the woman that she was involved with said that when I turned everything off, she went ballistic and saying how much she hated me, she wanted to knock me off and kill me and all this other. And that next morning when she got up and I was up, she was talking again, and I was like, Joy, the marriage is over. And she jumped up and she said, so she had her hand behind her back. She said, do you know I could kill you and your family right now? I told her, I said, if you decide to shoot me, you make sure my black is dead. Make sure I have no breath left in my body, because if you don't, I will get you back.
That was in August when Lewis made the reports against her wife. And the other woman Pelzer was allegedly involved with, who cautioned Lewis about how angry Pelzer was. She's the same woman who called police just days before the stabbing, warning them of Pelzer's alleged plans to kill Rosalind Lewis.
Are you
Soaked in blood that's not mine? Yes.
I don't know how bad it is. It doesn't, from here visually, I don't see a whole lot.
On my like lower half, she was grabbing my arms, just soaked in blood.
Okay.
She was terrified.
Sure. I mean, I'd be terrified too.
As time passes, the likelihood that Lewis will survive the attack only decreases. Paramedics rush her to a nearby hospital, but her injuries are too severe. 47-year-old Rosalind Lewis dies on December 10th, 2018. But Lewis held true to.
So I think they made an arrest on this recently within the last few days. That's why I'm playing this.
The promise she made to Pelzer. Until there was no breath left in her body, she would get Pelzer back. And she did, by making sure
there's always a white car or a white van. You could just book it, right?
everyone knew who did this to her.
Roz, I need you to keep breathing for me, okay? You said it's Joyce? Yes. Do you know Joyce's last name? Pelzer?
Got a Joyce Pelzer, P-E-L-Z.
Breathe until you tell me who it is, and then you can die, pretty much.
E-R. I don't have a date of birth.
I don't know who registered here. So is it Joyce?
They say the suspect is Joyce, apparently.
With a name from the victim, a physical description from witnesses, and the make and color of the getaway vehicle, the search for Lewis's killer is already well underway. Largely thanks to motel security footage that captured nearly every moment before and after the attack. On December 8th, just 2 days before the attack, it appears Joyce Pelzer checked into her own room. There is more than an hour of footage showing Pelzer standing in the lobby, walking the first floor breezeway, and driving her black Nissan through the motel parking lot, over and over again. Just after 10 a.m. on the day of the attack, Rosalind Lewis can be seen pulling up to the motel in her black Toyota Camry, a different vehicle than the one Pelzer is seen driving. Lewis puts the car in park, then gets out. She doesn't know it yet, but this is one of the last times she'll ever be seen by anyone outside the motel. Then, around 10:34 a.m., motel guests.
It's good to see Luis Cuevas in here. Is that Chuck? That is Chuck. There's not a lot they can do until something happens. Yeah, that's the sad thing. Not enough attention. Exactly.
Guests hear screaming coming from room 114. Security cameras capture motel guests approaching the room. Just 1 minute later, at 10:35 a.m., Pelzer, in her black hat and gray jacket, can be seen exiting room 114. Lewis is still inside. That's when Pelzer makes a beeline for the parking lot, leaving a trail of blood behind her.
I mean, how much more do you need than that? I mean, what's going on here?
Seconds later, Lewis falls onto the threshold, and the dog one witness described can be seen chasing Pelzer down the sidewalk. As Lewis tries to save her own life, Pelzer gets into her vehicle and speeds out of the parking lot. Security cameras capture her making a right turn onto the highway as a brave witness follows her, dials 911, and reports everything he sees to the dispatcher.
I cannot see the tag. It's a black car. Black Nissan.
Shortly after 911 is called, police officers locate a vehicle matching the description of Pelzer's Nissan leaving the area where the stabbing took place. There are 2 black female passengers inside, and police assume they have their suspect in arm's reach.
It is occupied by a female. Hey, let me see your hands. I'm gonna take one.
Dandy's in there. Where's Dandy? But if you're in here, I don't see you. If you're in here, Dandy, good to see you. Here you are, right there. Happy Saturday. I'm off to bed, but I diddled that thumb. Thank you, Dandy. It's always good to see Dandy in here. Dandy's amazing. Let's see here. Have a good week.
Person out the vehicle at each time. Unlock the door. All right, put your hands in there. Hands in there. Okay.
Quick shout out to the mom, Minor Monster. She's awesome. I catch one of her lives the other night. I don't know what's going on over there, but I'll have to research that. But it's she's awesome.
Step back here. Keep your hands up, guys. Okay, relax. We can get it figured out in just a second.
Okay, well, she's claiming that this girl is a Uber driver that picked them up, and that they got picked up from America's Best, and never stopped by Motel 6. So they're just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay.
When the officer runs the plate number and the passenger's identification cards, none of the information comes back as a match.
We're coming from an area where an incident just occurred. Your vehicle was given as a description. It came out as a black Nissan passenger car driven by.
Unbelievable. This is just typical, right? This is just wow.
Female, so that's the reason why you were stopped and handcuffed, okay?
While officers uncuff the innocent people on the street, Joyce Pelzer is somewhere out there, possibly under the assumption she's gotten away with it. Again.
Did you know that your personal data is being harvested and sold online by data
shut
brokers?
up.
Anyone can buy your personal.
Ondell McLeod vanished after ending a relationship she also called abusive. When McLeod didn't show up for work one morning in September 2011, her mom called the police to report her missing. From the start, people close to McLeod assumed her ex-girlfriend had something to do with it. Her ex was Joyce Pelzer, who by that time was already dating Rosalind Lewis. Police interviewed Pelzer, who told investigators she was at work.
Do you know how Frankie's doing, Think Tank? I haven't seen her around for a while. I hope she's well.
On the day that McLeod disappeared. But according to her boss, Pelzer never showed up for her shift. Pelzer later claimed that she had spent the entire day with her new girlfriend, but detectives and McLeod's loved ones remained suspicious, especially considering the couple's tumultuous past. Pelzer had an outstanding warrant for her arrest after threatening McLeod with a knife in July 2011, about 2 months before McLeod vanished. Then, in August 2011, McLeod told police that Pelzer trespassed into her home and stole her furniture. Following her disappearance, McLeod's car was found, abandoned, damaged, and covered in mud, but that was it in the way of physical evidence, and the case went cold. That is, until August 2018, when police received a tip that Joyce Pelzer had admitted to killing McLeod. Then Rosalind Lewis came into the station to make her own report, and she mentioned McLeod too.
At the end of the day, I have too much other going on than to deal with some behind that I left you. Get over it at this point. Really get over it.
The detective, what
yes.
prompted you to call a detective in Atlanta?
She has some legal issues going on in Atlanta with a missing person from some years ago. And in talking to my wife's ex-girlfriend. Yeah, this is her ex-girlfriend. She told me that the detective had reached out to her, and she.
What? Why was she shut down by YouTube? Why would somebody shut down Frankie on YouTube? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's awful. Oh, no wonder why I haven't seen her.
She had talked to him, and I was like, "Do you have his number?" Because I'm like, "Okay, wait a minute," because I know the girl that's missing had a restraining order on Joyce. So I wanted to call him and say, "Hey, what steps do I need to take to get another restraining order?" And this is what's going on, because I don't know what the hell happened with the woman. I have no clue. Lord knows, I hope she's okay. But at this point, I don't know, because that's been 6-7 years ago, I guess. I'm not even sure how long it's been, but it's been a minute.
3 months later, the tipster called again to report Pelzer's alleged plan to kill Rosalind Lewis. So when Lewis is found brutally stabbed just a few days later, police all over the state of Georgia are narrowing in on Joyce Marie Pelzer. And this time, they're going to find her while the case is hot. At 3:15 p.m., about 5 hours after the attack at the motel, a state trooper in Crisp County, Georgia, spots a black Nissan headed southbound on I-75. When he attempts to stop the vehicle, the driver challenges him to a high-speed chase. Then, just when it looks like Pelzer is finally within reach, she tries to take off again. There's no way out now. Police have Pelzer cornered. But they quickly learn that a knife isn't her only weapon of choice. Pelzer appears to have a loaded gun in the vehicle and fires the first shot in what turns into a highway shootout.
Triggering.
Pelzer is wounded by one of the officers on scene, and despite her attempt on their lives, one officer rushes to render her aid until the ambulance arrives. Pelzer is airlifted to a hospital in Cordele, Georgia, before being transported again to the Navicent Health Center in Macon, Georgia.
It's okay, Joyce.
That's where investigators meet her, hooked up to tubes and IVs. Pelzer doesn't have the chance to recover in privacy. Officers wait in the hospital room with her for days, collecting blood, swabs of saliva, and photographing her injuries. Investigators have confirmed that Lewis had walked into Pelzer's motel room that morning and never walked out. Evidence found in room 114, like dog food and the camouflage jacket Pelzer is seen wearing in security footage, confirm that Joyce Pelzer was staying there. Investigators just need to know why. They also want to talk to Pelzer about another case, Shondell McLeod's disappearance 7 years earlier. But given her injuries, 2 gunshot wounds to the head and several lacerations from the vehicle crash, they'll have to wait until she's healed enough to have a conversation. A few days of recovery is all she gets before she
Oh, remember this? Yeah, remember this? This was the interrogation. Remember?
trades her hospital gown for an orange jumpsuit.
Do I sound normal?
Remember this?
I think so.
Sound like a robot.
That's okay. Why you got a tear coming down your face? Are your eyes hurting at all?
Huh?
Your eyes hurting at all? Can you see me okay?
They doing what?
Lewis insists she's unable to hear or see properly, but for now, the investigator isn't giving up.
Huh?
Do you understand where you are now?
I don't know what you said.
Okay.
Who are you?
Remember this? This was a classic. I remember this now.
I'm Sergeant Lucas. I work with Conyers Police Department. Do you know what your warrants are?
Do I know what is on?
What the warrants are for?
No. How many of them?
You got 2. You got 2 warrants.
2 warrants.
Yes. One for aggravated assault.
Okay.
And one for murder.
And murder for who?
I think you know who. But I need you
to let me know if you want to talk.
Then, suddenly, Lewis's condition seems to improve, and she appears far more capable of speaking with the detective.
I gave you time.
I think I need to get an attorney. You talking about murder? I ain't killed nobody.
Except she isn't willing to. But that's okay, because other people close to Rosalind Lewis are.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think happened.
Okay.
Last week, she called Rosalind. Rosalind had been ignoring her phone calls. Joy had gotten real aggressive with the call, so she answered, and she said, "What is it, Joy?" She said, "I'm happy, and you have some. Well, you're happy, and you have someone. I'm happy, and I have someone." That's the only thing that I can see.
That was a classic. I remember that. All of a sudden, Peggy O is here. Good to see Peggy O. I was actually able to catch one of your lives the other night. Awesome live. It's John Paul Hansen's in here. Good to see John Paul Hansen. Peggy O's channel is awesome. Everybody in here. Southern Gal has got a great channel. John Paul Hansen. Jocelyn's in here. Paula's in here. Mustang's in here. Lighting the Way Home. All great channels.
Set Joy off because her response to Rosalind is that I'm gonna kill both of you.
And the more people they talk to in Lewis's circle, the more investigators learn about why Lewis and Pelzer would have been together at all that day.
So as far as y'all were aware, she was not communicating with Joy?
She was talking to Joy, but it depends on who you may ask. She would not always be open saying that she's talking to Joy.
Yeah.
But we all know that.
Whether it was just texting or whatever.
Knowing that Lewis and Pelzer were still in contact helps investigators understand why Lewis might have gone to Motel Room 114. But maybe she didn't go just to talk. According to Lewis's new girlfriend, there might have been another reason for her to see Pelzer face to face.
Is that her new channel? Frankie Rose, YouTube, The Crime Den. Okay, thank you, Dandy. Frankie is awesome. Frankie is, I'll have to check that out. I didn't know she changed the, that's probably why I'm not getting any notifications from her, but Frankie is amazing.
Face.
She was scared to death of her. And when Roz came back from New Orleans, she was in a hotel and we were talking. And she said, babe, I gotta go meet her at some point to serve her the papers. I said, babe, you don't have to serve her the papers. The lawyers can do that. And she had already told me she was scared to death of her. And she told me, what the things that she's capable of doing. And I told her, I said, I don't think it's a good idea.
The things she was capable of doing. Now that piques detectives' interest, because Lewis's death isn't the only case they're curious about. They want to know about Shondell McLeod's disappearance, too.
I said, because all of the evidence, they didn't have a body, but I just questioned how someone goes missing 2 days after you file a protective order.
Everyone has a theory about what happened to McLeod, and some wonder if maybe Lewis's death was somehow connected. Maybe she knew more than she let on.
Why? I think, and I don't tell the family, but I think that she probably knew what happened. I said that too. I think that's the only way, and she is the only person who could. Mm-hmm. Because when the girl was missing, her mom was together. Mm-hmm. It was together.
That's exactly what Pelzer would later claim about her ex-girlfriend Shondell McLeod's 2011 disappearance, that it wasn't her who got rid of McLeod, but her then-girlfriend, Rosalind Lewis. But Lewis's family and investigators aren't buying it, especially because recently Pelzer had made a strange, sudden move, all the way from Atlanta to North Dakota.
Why would she leave Atlanta to go to North Dakota to work? That makes nothing was
That's like a completely different country.
adding up to what she was telling me. Right. North Dakota? There's nothing in North Dakota. And if she's running from detective, she can hang it up because the man has said he is going to have her behind bars if that's the last thing he do.
Well, he's convinced that the reason she moved to North Dakota was to get far away from him. I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm convinced if that's what she did,
Okay.
because why else?
It seems like a strange move to me for sure.
North Dakota. And then why did you come back? I still don't understand what brought her back.
I've gotten the impression, but I'd like to hear you say it. Do you think that Joyce had something to do?
I think that's my son. Is that Dino? There's two Dinos in here. There's my Dino and then Mino Dino. Good to see you, buddy.
With the investigation that is conducting.
Oh, I am willing to put my head on the chopping board. I have tried to do my own personal investigation. My mama told me to leave it alone. But it's just something, and I'm going to be honest. I've asked Rosalind because I don't understand what's holding you there. Do you know something? Did she say something? Something is not right about this whole story.
Pelzer's new girlfriend, the one who called police in August 2018 to tell them Pelzer confessed to killing McLeod, also believed that.
Yeah, that's my son in here. We did the football picks the other night. Good to see you, buddy.
Lewis was involved in McLeod's disappearance. She told investigators that Lewis hired a hitman to kill McLeod, and Pelzer had planned the murder for months.
I don't know what how she's tied to this, but I'm almost willing to bet she's tied to this.
Outside of Pelzer's allegations, there's no evidence that Lewis had anything to do with McLeod's disappearance. But the deeper investigators dig into this case, the more they believe they finally have enough evidence to tie Pelzer to McLeod's case definitively. In 2021, Pelzer is sentenced to life in prison for the stabbing and murder of Rosalind Lewis. 2 years later, she returns to the courtroom for the trial related to Shondell McLeod's disappearance and death. Pelzer admits that she helped bury McLeod, but claims that it was Rosalind Lewis who orchestrated and executed her murder. At trial, Pelzer's defense states there is insufficient evidence to convict her, but a jury disagrees. On December 1st, 2023, more than a decade after McLeod vanished from her home, Joyce Marie Pelzer is found guilty on the charges of malice murder and felony murder. She's serving a life sentence and will never see the outside of a cell.
Okay, so that's the end of that. I'm gonna have to play because there's this one too, and I'll play that here so I don't have to look it up. There's this one here that happened 3 days ago. This was a cold case. I believe this was also in Georgia, right here.
All the way back to 2007, that was truly gruesome. We're talking about a woman whose body was discovered in a burning bag on the side of a Troup County road. Now, Fox 5's Deidre Dukes, she is on top of this story in Palmetto. Deidre, where authorities updated you on the status of this investigation and the big arrest that has been made.
That's right. Police confirming.
Okay, so these are two totally different cases. All right, I apologize for that. This is a completely different case than the other one we just watched. But this happened. Okay, so this happened 3 days ago. Fulton County officials say they have made an arrest in what they are calling a gruesome cold case murder of a woman whose body was discovered in a burning bag on the side of Troup County Road. So this is, all right, sorry.
With the prosecutors, the Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, of an arrest in this cold case after 15 years of searching for a suspect. We're joining you live in Palmetto because this is where investigators determined that the actual crime scene where the woman was.
I'll get you a wrench, buddy. Hold on a second.
murdered, 24-year-old Nicole Alston. Now, prosecutors say the victim and the suspect were living together in an apartment complex here. Now, at that time, back in 2007, the name of the apartment complex was Genesis Gardens Apartments, and the apartment was located on the 9100 block of Cascade Palmetto Highway. The name of the complex has since changed, but police have determined, along with investigators with the Fulton County DA's office, that that is in fact where the crime occurred, or where Miss Alston was killed back in December of 2000. Now,
all right. I just gave Dino 2 a wrench.
Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, the victim's family, and investigators with multiple law enforcement agencies gathered together for that news conference today. We do have a photo of the murder victim, again, 24-year-old Nicole Alston. Her body was discovered in a burning bag on the side of the road in Troup County back in December of 2007. Her head, hands, and feet were missing. So at that time, it would be several
Oh my God.
years before she was identified. Alston's then girlfriend, Angel Thompson, now charged with malice murder in the case. Alston.
What are the chances that there are two of these cases at the same kind of general time? That's why I was confused. Unbelievable.
Moved to Atlanta from New York to live with Thompson shortly before her death, and prosecutors say Thompson killed Alston, took steps to conceal her death, and assume the dead woman's identity. Now, the case went cold for 15 years, but investigators got a break in 2023 when Alston was identified through DNA testing. They would go on to spend the next couple of years following up on leads, reviewing evidence, once again, finding and locating the apartment complex where the couple lived and determining that that, in fact, was...
We adore Heather, too. Heather's an amazing person. I got her GoFundMe, I think, scrolling across the bottom here. Let me know if that's right. We love Heather. Heather's amazing.
The crime scene where Miss Alston was murdered. On Monday, Thompson was booked into the Fulton County Jail, and Alston's mother was on hand for today's news conference. She said she never stopped looking for her daughter.
Never stopped looking for her. Not receiving a call at Christmas or New Year's or birthday. It resonates because that wasn't Nicole. But she was grown, and you don't always need your witching mama. So I didn't think of it much. But she didn't deserve this. And I wish I never let her come to Georgia.
Oh my God, that's terrible. I just get these feeds of these cases that come up on my, basically my pages and shit. And so I got that other case, and I thought this case was connected to that case because it's basically the same. It's very, very similar. So that's why I thought, what are you going to do?
Now, Alston's mother did say during the news conference, Tom, that she had learning disabilities. Alston did, where she relied heavily on people for more help from others. So believes that would have made her more vulnerable towards Thompson. So just learning a lot more about.
It's like a 40-foot wingspan here to this umbrella. I was going to say the same thing.
The details surrounding this, a very sad case.
Just goes out to the mother, for the mother, Deidre, of Nicole Alston. She sounded so upset and so sad on the one hand. On the other hand, they've been waiting for answers.
Can't they just find somebody to hold the umbrella for her? I mean, it's so weird.
Since 2007. So in a way, this must come as a great relief to them.
Yeah, great relief to the family. And we also are learning more, Tom, about possible motive. Now, detectives do say that the suspect, Thompson, did take on Alston's identity after they say she killed her, and that she collected.
I don't know. It looks, it could be just kind of like quib notes or whatever on the cell phone. It rains a lot in Georgia. I know that.
Collected for about 8 years, they said, Social Security checks that Alston what would have been receiving had she lived for 8 years. They say the total that Thompson received while she impersonated the deceased woman was in the total of $121,000 between 2007 and 2015. And they also say that she also was renting apartments and purchasing vehicles in Alston's name. Now, prosecutors do believe that money was the possible motive for the murder. They also say that they do suspect that Alston was being trafficked by Thompson. And we're told by DA Fonnie Willis that she does believe there are other victims out there who may have been preyed on.
John Paul's awesome. His music is great. Go check out his. I'm pretty sure everybody here is pretty much sub to John Paul Hansen. He's an awesome musician. Does awesome work.
By Thompson, and so she also today urged the public to come forward with any information they might have on Thompson. Here's what she had to say.
To people to go back to this time period in 2007. This is a picture of the defendant. We know that right prior to their death that they were living at 9100 Cascade Palmetto Highway. That property during that time period would have been called Genesis Gardens. It's known today as Palmetto Reserve, but back in 2007, it would have been known as Genesis Gardens. If there is anyone that is familiar with this couple at that home and can bring forth information, we would like you to contact the district attorney's office and the lead attorney, Will Wooten. If there is any information regarding other women being victimized and trafficked, we would like you to call the district attorney's office.
So they think that there's more than just this person here. There may be others. That's freaking awful.
The nature of this case is gruesome. What happened to this young lady prior to her being killed is horrible, but trafficking didn't just start in 2023. We know that it has been going on a long time, and it is very important to us that when we bring forth this indictment, we include.
You guys are all awesome. Every person in this chat, you guys are all great people. I really appreciate everybody for coming in and listening to my bullshit for a couple hours. I really appreciate you guys.
All of the victims in this case, so that we can get justice for them.
And right now, the Fulton DA says that she does believe, Tom, that Thompson acted alone. Once again, Thompson now behind bars in the Fulton County Jail charged with malice murder.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to look into this because it appears that they think there's more missing people that are kind of in this trafficking thing.
Preparing to talk to you about this story today, Deidre, I learned, boy, this Miss Thompson, definitely no model citizen. I mean, she moved here from New York in 2007, was already wanted there for theft and identity fraud. So she had a lot of problems once she got here. And then, of course, after this arrest, she's now suspected in this grisly murder.
Yes.
All right.
One word answer. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's get out of that. I do want to go into this awful case here. Pretty sure you guys have heard about this case. You're awesome. You're so awesome, Heather. I'm glad you're feeling okay, though. All right, so let's get into the Jaden Spicer case here. This is going to be really sad. So search for missing 10-year-old Jaden Spicer ends in tragedy. This is going to come from Court TV. The mother's been charged, of course, after remains of the missing 10-year-old child, Jaden Spicer. Did I say Spencer? Were found buried. Felicia Gross has been charged with second-degree manslaughter in connection with Spicer's unaliving, whose remains were found in a wooded area. I think this is this the press conference? All right, so here we go.
And then kind of walk me through too, because you left and went to work after that. She called 911, and then
and then I wasn't here. My helper was pulling here, and then I waited a few minutes, and then
I don't know. What are they only why are they only charging her with second degree? I guess I'll find out.
the 911 crew came. So after that, I left. And then I came back home. I saw those crew still searching for him.
This is just awful. A nearly week-long search for missing 10-year-old boy in Kentucky ends with the discovery of his buried body. Now, his mother is charged in his death. This is Jaden Spicer. He was last seen in Jackson, Kentucky, which is over an hour away from Lexington. Police say his remains were found buried in a heavily...
This is just terrible. Remember, this was a couple weeks ago. They were looking for this guy, right? This kid. This is just awful. Susan, is it Susan Smith? This reminds me of the Susan Smith case.
Wooded area not far from where he went missing. Tuesday, after his body was discovered, officials quickly shifted their focus to a criminal investigation.
This incident has now transitioned from a missing person investigation into an active and ongoing criminal investigation. With that, we must advise that specific details regarding this investigation cannot be released at this time. It is our top priority to protect the integrity of this investigation and seek justice for Jaden.
I think I speak for an entire community when I say that we are devastated and collectively broken over this. I would like to assure the public that now, thanks to these guys, Jaden is now in good hands, and we're going to take care of him. Thank you.
Jaden's mother, Felicia Gross, is facing multiple charges, including second-degree manslaughter in connection to the 10-year-old's death. We're asking this morning, what other outstanding questions do you have about the way Jaden Spicer's disappearance and death occurred?
Yeah, no, this is terrible. This is awful. Poor kid.
Let's bring in our power panel now. Still with me, the sheriff in Erie County, Pennsylvania, Chris Campanelli, and retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. Great to have you both on this. Agent Coffindaffer, let me begin with you here, please. What outstanding questions do you have about this child's death and disappearance, please?
Well, of course, we want to hear the manner and causation, exactly what happened to that child. And believe me, that autopsy is going to tell us a lot of information whenever those results come back. You know, he was taken 18.5 miles, and recall that mutilation of a corpse has also been charged. What did she do to his body after he died? These are questions that just jump to mind.
Yeah, most definitely, Jennifer. Sheriff Campanelli, let me ask you the same question. What sticks out in your mind the most when it comes to the unanswered questions about this case?
First of all, I think our hearts go out to the family of this child. It's a horrific event. I would like to find out and ask her what could cause her to act in such a way and to do such a thing to a child and her own child at that. It's just unfathomable to me.
It really is, Sheriff. You know, when we think about this search, and he's in his pajamas, and she's the child buried in this shallow grave, and then suddenly, you know, the cuffs are on mom, and it's a big shift from the way America was looking at.
Right. I mean, everybody is presumed innocent until guilty, right? But I have the other one too, where they have some of the information on why they arrested her.
At mom, and now how they're looking at things this morning. She's 33 years old, and apparently there's a handwritten note that we have. I want to put it up on your screen here now. Let's take a look. So she's talking about loving her child, wanting him to be home safe, report this if you know anything, blah, 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 blah. What is this? What is this exactly that we're looking at here? Agent Coffindeffer, what do you make of this attempt by mom?
Well, I see it as sort of a rambling consciousness where she wants to put something to paper, where she could say she loves him, absolutely self-serving. How many cases have we seen like this? It reminds me a little bit of Susan Smith. We see so many cases right now of missing, like Sebastian Ross.
Yeah, he got attacked in prison. Adam Montgomery got attacked in prison last week. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet. My daughter could be on playing whatever she plays on the internet, so that could be why. Sorry about that. Did she use the paper where you learn how to write? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Rogers with similar type stories, Summer Wells, Jill and Lily Sullivan. You look at those cases and wow, such similarities. But yet in this case, because a body has been found, we're going to have.
Not really a big fan of hers, but what am I going to do? She's on here.
Have a culmination and adjudication.
Sheriff, looking at that note, I want to ask you the same thing. What do you see when you read this note written by mom? She's the accused, hasn't been convicted, just accused at this point, cloaked in the presumption of innocence. What do you think she's angling to do with that note?
I mean, obviously, from my perspective, it looks like she's deflecting suspicion off of herself is what she's trying to do. She wants authorities to believe that she's this loving mother. Obviously, they have some.
Is it good now? Let me know if it could be the ticker too. Every time I put the ticker on, it does stuff like this.
Some type of evidence against her. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yes. Let's talk about more of what we know about this woman. Felicia Gross is her name. She's 33. Her charges right now, this morning, these could always be amended, but as of right now, it's second degree.
She's charged with second-degree manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with physical evidence, and falsifying a reporting an incident. Court records indicate involvement with child protective services in the past.
Manslaughter, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and falsely reporting an incident. According to the Lexington Herald Leader, court records show involvement with child protective services in the past. A woman named Felicia Spicer, same age, has a conviction for a misdemeanor charge of endangering the welfare of a minor that dates back to 2015. Sounds like the same person to me. That they're talking about, just different last name. We know his last name is Spicer, so I think putting two and two together, we can see perhaps a pattern here. Oh, I don't know. Agent Coffindeffer, what do you think? We're wondering this morning, is mom here going to be the only person charged? Should she be? Do you suspect?
Maybe that's why. Maybe they. I don't know. It's weird how they got her for manslaughter, though.
Anyone else may have allegedly been involved here?
Well, what I find interesting, Julie, is that it's second-degree manslaughter, right? Which indicates that there was no intent to particularly harm, but your negligence.
Thanks, John Paul.
Or recklessness caused his death. So I find that very interesting. Was this something that was truly accidental, like some sort of overdose of some nature or something like that, and was not particularly intended? But then you look at the past.
Yeah, I should just, every question I ask, I should just put a add on there, ask Tracy, because Tracy would probably know. Going back to the Adam Montgomery, Harmony Montgomery case, I think he got attacked in prison by somebody. But I hope that he gets attacked in prison by somebody with a baseball bat. That would, that would help too.
And you look at those charges. Listen, people who have the ability to abuse a child, I mean, that's as bad as it gets, Julie, and they can continue doing that in the future. Without any hesitation, unfortunately.
Right, Jennifer.
That guy, Adam Montgomery, is such a horrible excuse for a human being. I mean, he's just, ugh.
I love what you said, and I'm in agreement with you. This is telling us something. They've charged manslaughter, not murder, for some reason. We don't know why yet. And as you pointed out, Jennifer, could it be that something terrible, albeit, accidental, but terribly negligent, horrific?
I mean, I'm serious. How can you do that to a little child? Like, this is the reason why I got involved in this horrible business, true crime. Like, it's just that poor little kid. My God, it's just, you just want to punch something. It's just so senseless. It's just, they were literally living out of their car. It's just so, what a waste of life. What a waste of human. It's just, ugh.
Maybe drugs. That's what popped into my mind. Sheriff, I'm wondering, fentanyl exposure. I'm sure you see a lot of that where you are in cases that you have. What are your thoughts when you saw manslaughter, not murder, charged here?
Honestly, I was very surprised as well. And like we were,
it's possible that she's not the one that did it, but she probably aided in it. You know what I mean?
Someone that has abused a child in the past, the past is the biggest predictor of the future. So we'll have.
I mean, look at this poor kid. What did he do to deserve this? Right? Like, it's just, it's crazy.
Have to wait and see what the evidence provides, but I can foresee in the future there may be a change in that charge.
That's another great point too, Sheriff. It may be amended. Maybe it becomes murder. Again, we don't know the circumstances. We're just putting forth some educated guesses based on what we know and Mom's history here, which is not good. It was a grandmother who had been taking care of little Jaden, and she recently passed away, and then he was put back into the custody of his mom, and sadly didn't make it out alive. Jennifer.
See, that's the thing, right? I mean, I said this back with so many cases before. Harmony Montgomery comes to mind, but so many of these child custody cases, like, why would they ever? I mean, it's just, if she has, it just sucks. It's just awful. But I mean, if she has a history of being, I don't know, just.
Coffinduffer, does this story make you think of the Sebastian Rogers case?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, such similar situation, right? Prior CPS walked out of his house in the middle of the night, although there's no camera footage of anyone leaving in the middle of the night, never seen again. It's so similar to that case in terms of the facts that we have at hand anyway. So yes, definitely so.
Yeah, I had a feeling you might say that as you followed that one from the outset, like this one. And that's what I just keep thinking of. It just reminds me so much of the pajamas late at night. It just, with Mom, yeah, it's just incredibly upsetting. We still don't have answers with that one. We'll leave it here for just a moment. I have to say goodbye and a big thank you to you both for the great analysis. Special Agent Jennifer Coffinduffer, Sheriff Chris Campanelli, thank you both kindly. We're going to continue our coverage about the Jaden Spicer case in just a moment. We'll hit a break. When we come back, we're spotlighting the public outcry. A lot of people have.
All right, so let me fast forward this. Hold on a second here. Maybe they'll get into some of this shit now. Hold on a second. Okay.
Buried in a heavily wooded area not far from where he went missing. His mother, Felicia Gross, is facing multiple charges, including second-degree manslaughter in connection to her son's death. The prosecuting attorney addressed the public response to this case while assuring justice for Jaden.
Finally, I think the Canadian wildfires are, at least they're not, the air up here is a little bit better now than it has been. But we got some rain too over the past few days, so that might have helped a little bit too. But yeah.
like to take a moment to extend my condolences to the people who loved and cared about Jaden. While this is not the outcome that we had hoped for, we certainly are grateful that we were able to bring him out of the woods today. I'm sorry, guys, this is hard. Finally, I'd just like to say that the outpouring of love and support as a result of this has been absolutely remarkable. And it appears that there are people all over the world that love and care for this baby. Because of that, I would like to assure the public that
This is the reason why I've never been a cop. You know, could you imagine finding this kid in the woods like that? Oh my God. It's all good. It smells like maple syrup a little bit.
now, thanks to these guys, Jaden is now in good hands.
Let's talk about this some more with Kentucky State Senator Brandon Smith. Brandon, good morning to you. I understand you joined in the search efforts to find this precious little.
If you guys have channels, I know Peggy O's got a channel. I know most of everybody's got a channel in here. SG, Southern Gal. Feel free to throw your channels here in the chat. I like to promote all the creators in here, all the great creators, as much as I can. So that's why everybody's kind of got a wrench in here. So.
Boy, tell us a little bit about that experience, if you would, please.
Well, I, like so many other people, had been following the story and had a lot of questions. I was curious early on why, like, an Amber Alert hadn't gone out, that more information was not available. And so when...
Thanks, Dino. Dino.
They finally asked the public to start searching. That's exactly what I did. And I hopped on a bike that I've got, and that way I could cover a lot of ground and get back in rough area. And so I went straight to ground zero. And this is tough terrain, and you've got a lot of homes that are off the beaten path for a reason. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want you trespassing on their property. And so it's a difficult area to get into, and there's a lot of other issues that you need to be careful about when you're out doing one of these searches.
Sure. Senator, of course, this was not the result that anybody wanted. Would you tell us what the public sentiment has been like throughout the process, throughout all of the days where everybody was still hopeful, and now with this terrible news that we just received?
Well, hope and anger. A lot of the people were very hopeful that he would be found. I felt like that he would be found. I thought the whole time that I was searching that he was probably hiding. I felt like he, from just feedback I was getting, was probably in a very difficult situation at home, and that if he'd gotten away from them, that he was going to hide. So having been an old Boy Scout leader myself, I felt like I knew some good places to look for him, but that he would maybe respond to me and come when I called his name. And I shared some videos of where I was searching for him, so people know not to search those areas that already been there. But also I wanted the camera on to make sure that people knew I wasn't trespassing or nothing, or trying to get on their property illegally. And that's another part about it, is making sure when you're searching that you give people notice and let them know that you're there.
Mm-hmm. Smart, Senator. How about throughout the time period that you were there on the ground and saw other people also searching, did you ever happen to see this child's mom, Felicia Gross, around looking?
No, and I didn't. I will tell you, I did not see other people out searching, and that could be because they'd already had been through there. I'm not sure, but I met an individual kind of right earlier in the day, right off the bat, that had some information that he had witnessed, and it was very alarming information. But what he shared with me was that he had seen a car come by his grandmother's house, and that he noticed it through the trees because there was a child in it screaming. Now, this is hard for me to share with you, and he said he noticed that car and saw it and where it was going, and then he just said something.
Yeah, thanks, Mino. I appreciate doing that.
Nothing about it had set right. He woke up the next morning. He saw where the child was missing, and then he reported the information and a description of the car that he heard. But in my
had as a parent, just thinking about the child in the car screaming, it was just really difficult for me. And so he showed me area. We went to the place where he saw the car. And I began literally searching every single road, path, driveway, home, well, garbage dumps, and the anxiety. And I don't know if they've shared some of the video with you all of lifting up some of those mattresses and going through the dump was really difficult for me to think that I'd see a little pair of pajamas there.
Look at that. That's so freaking sad right there, man. Hold on a second. I want to see that again. Ugh.
All the car. And I began literally searching every single road, path, driveway, home, well, garbage dumps, and the anxiety. And I don't know if they've shared some of the video with you
Look at that. And that's sad.
all of lifting up some of those mattresses and going through the dump was really difficult for me to think that I'd see a little pair of pajamas there or something. It was really very, very difficult search.
Senator, do you know if this information from this man who witnessed something, we don't know exactly what, do you know if it had anything to do with Jaden Spicer's case? Did law enforcement tie it together? Was it him in that car?
I did not ask because the state police have their job's tough enough the way it is. He had told me that he had already made the authorities aware of it, so I assumed they were also on it. And I just took what he had and went.
It's just, it's just awful. It's just horrible.
With myself to go do it, but no, I've never found out what if that was her car or identified the car. I do think they know who the owner of that car was, and it could have been a case where it was just a mistaken identity. It may not have been the case. It may not have been her car at all. That stuff I don't know. The state police will know that, and but that
Thank
was
you, Southern Gal.
information that I had from literally being, boots on the ground, being there. And so he gave me a good search grid. I know as a father with kids in the car that when they're screaming, I don't figure you're going to go very far. And if the child's really screaming, then I kept thinking that she may pull over, maybe have thrown him out. And it just gave me hope.
Can you freaking imagine that? Oh, why would you do that?
I really was crushed by this when I got home yesterday and found out that they had found him and he was no longer with us, because up until that moment I was on the team that felt like this little guy was hiding and that we would find him.
We all hope that as well, Senator. There's a lot we don't know because
Yeah, Jocelyn is amazing. It's always good to see Jocelyn in here.
David, a probable cause is not public yet, so we'll look for that piece of information you shared. Perhaps it's tied in here, perhaps not. I'm curious if you know anything as to why law enforcement charged manslaughter rather than another homicide charge that may have been available or more appropriate under the circumstances. Do you know, Senator?
I don't, and I am just like most people thinking about it. I assume that it's because she cooperated and did take them to his body, which I'm thankful for. This is something that she could have taken to her grave. We may have never found this baby. And it could be.
So I just, I won't switch. So 2nd degree manslaughter is about 15, prison sentence of 15 years to life, I think. Hold on a second. I can probably try to. That's Kentucky, right? One to 5 years. The penalty for a Class C felony, unbelievable. 1 to 5 years. And a $10,000 fine. Really?
That there are other people involved, and maybe she, they're wanting to give her some room in order to, work.
That's what it's got to be something like that. It's got to be something like she probably, because the second abuse of a corpse. So it doesn't say, so that's telling me that she just probably moved the body tampering with physical evidence and falsely reporting an incident. So I don't know if she's the one that actually did this, but she probably had help
with them if there were other people involved. But not really sure. I know people are they're upset by it. They're outraged by it, and for good reason. But right now, we just have to.
Southern Gal is an amazing freaking content creator. She does really great work. Her, Doodlebug, and Arctic Fox, they're just the way they take care of the missing persons cases, and you know, the more we get the news out there for some of these, especially indigenous people, because you know they don't really get any coverage at all. So deep respect for Southern Gal and Doodlebug too, and Arctic.
Trust the process and let these professional men and women do their job.
Yes, it seems they're quite committed to justice for little Jaden.
And Mr. Steve, you know, Mr. Steve is the kingpin, right? He's the guy.
Based on what we saw, you know, in just the preliminary remarks with that press conference yesterday, Senator Brandon Smith, state senator in Kentucky, where this awful tragedy occurred.
All right. So speaking of missing persons cases, hold on a second. I want to do a couple of these cases. Hold on a second. Let me, I think I may have finally blocked one of his profiles. What am I doing? Oh, this here. Okay, hold on a second. Let's do this. Did I do that? No. Okay. So this came out a few days ago, 4 days ago. 40-year-old Connie Johansson is missing from Superior for nearly a week. Her daughter Chloe is leading the search efforts with her friends, families, and volunteers. Let me know if there's been an update in this case here. Police say Johansson left home barefoot during a mental health crisis. So let's find out more about this here.
Search tonight for a 40-year-old mother in
This was done 4 days ago, so this would have been Wednesday.
Superior who went missing nearly a week ago. The woman's daughter telling Fox 21 her disappearance does not make any sense, and now search efforts are underway. Fox 21's Emily Halling reports.
On August 5th, Corinne Johansson of...
Where's this? This is in Wisconsin? Welcome to Wisconsin Point Superior. This has got to be Lake Superior, right? Welcome to Wisconsin Point.
August 5th, Corinne Johansson of Superior has gone missing. Since then, 3 search parties have been activated, including right here on Wisconsin Point.
I have people today going out to the point and going with drones and just going all over town and helping. We haven't gotten the camera footage there, but the Villa Rita.
Johansson's daughter Chloe is leading the desperate search for her mother. Over the weekend, family and friends are searching areas Johansson visits often, like the Superior Dog Park and the beach. Several sightings have been reported since then, but Chloe says they've all turned up nothing.
I appreciate the support a lot. That's been the most help. Recently, all my friends and my family and everybody on Facebook, especially Joni, she's been helping me the most. And yeah, I really appreciate the help and the support looking around.
Is that close to you? Watch for me in the woods. I asked you where you put the bodies, buddy. Thank you, Southern Gal. And there's Arctic Fox right there. Awesome. All right, hold on a second. I'm assuming this is in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so here's Wisconsin Point here. It's right on the border. All right. Go back to, am I sharing this? Yes. Okay. Hold on a second. Stop sharing that. by Duluth Trading Post. Let me hold on a second. Go back to this here.
From my mom.
The Superior Police Department says Johansson was last seen wearing a black or dark blue tank top and gray sweatpants, running toward the high school. Security camera footage from outside Johansson's.
She was a dark colored tank top, gray sweatpants, running near high school. Jumped out window without shoes. Why would somebody jump out the window without shoes?
Apartment shows her leaving by jumping from a second-story balcony without shoes.
We think it might have just been like a mental crisis.
Second story? Like 2 floors?
She was just like not speaking fluently, and she was just seeming like kind of delirious and out of it and just saying random things that weren't making sense. She was saying that the neighbors behind us were crazy, but they didn't do anything.
Johansson's information has been entered into the National Crime Information Center as a missing person, ensuring that law enforcement across the country will notify the Superior Police Department if she is located.
I really thank everybody for everybody's help, and you guys too for getting the word out. And I just really hope that we can find her.
In Superior, with photojournalist Adam Jakinich, I'm Emily Holling, Fox 21 Local News.
And within the past couple of hours here, Chloe tells us she located medication bottles and her mother's child support card along the railroad tracks near the Superior High School. Chloe is providing updates on her mother's Facebook page, including.
Hold on a second. Let's see if we can find. Oops. If we can find more on this here. Nope, there's nothing. All right, I'll keep an eye on that, I guess. All right, hold on a second. Let me move on to something else here. Stop sharing that. I'll go back. I wanted to cover another case here. Hold on a second. So I want to get into this other. This one here. Okay, so let's do this one here. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm trying to do as many missing. Yes, they pulled a car with a body out of the Mississippi River. I'll be covering that in a second here. I'm just trying to go through all of the, well, not all of them, but missing here. So this happened 3 days ago. Massachusetts State Police troopers and others resumed their search in Rehoboth, Mass. On Wednesday for an 18-year-old pregnant woman who was reported missing. And there's a few of these that I want to place. This right here, Massachusetts. This was 3 days ago. So I'll play this one here.
Today, crews in Rehoboth are searching high and low for 18-year-old Kylie Montero. Kylie went missing last week and she hasn't used.
And I'll keep an eye out for the Corrine Johansson case, but
used her phone or social media since then. Her sisters say that she's 11 weeks pregnant. Good evening. I'm Patrice Wood.
I'm Gene Valicenti. Her boyfriend lives on County Street, where she was last seen. NBC 10's Molly Levine back on scene today, following up with family. Molly?
Gene and Patrice, both of Kylie's older sisters, tell me that they're concerned, but they're not losing hope.
We just want to know she's okay. We love her. We miss her. And her safety is number one to us right now.
Kylie's two older sisters.
We need to know that she is alive and that she is safe.
Faith and Catherine Montero are both hoping for their little sister's safe return. She was reported missing last Thursday, and since then, search crews have been searching high and low, deploying drones and canines, getting on ATVs and riding bikes through the woods, in the water, and on the phone.
They have contacted shelters nearby, homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters.
I know what's going on with Georgia, right?
Hospitals nearby. They haven't found anything yet.
Her last known location was in Rehoboth along County Street. Her family tells me she was at her partner's house.
The police are doing their job. They're investigating, and that's all I can say right now.
1 week later, and there have been no calls, texts, or comments.
Did Heather just block Peggy O? That's classic. That's classic. Sorry. I'm sorry. Grabbing for some candy. Yeah, sure you are. We love Heather. Heather's amazing.
Comments from Kylie.
She was somebody who posted a lot, especially on TikTok and Snapchat. She was very active on those two platforms. And
So she's 11 months pregnant. Hold on a second. Let me get a map here. Yeah, I wish I had some candy too. Opening maps. So Rehoboth, I think, down by Rhode Island here. Well, there's Rehoboth there. Just to give you guys a bearing, there's Braintree right there. Yeah, it's right next to Providence. We're going to get to this in a minute too, because they found another body. And the whole SKer in New England thing is reached a whole level now. So this, I don't know, because this is around the where all of these people have been being found here. Not saying that that's going to happen in this case, but it is a little interesting here. So that's Rehoboth down there, but it's right on, it's right on the Rhode Island border here. That's interesting. All right, let's go back to this. Hold on a second here. Too many windows open here.
there is absolutely nothing.
Kylie's sisters want the community to keep an eye out, keep spreading the word, make flyers and share on social media, but avoid starting your own search crew.
Maybe she hitched, maybe she got a ride from somebody. Who knows what could have happened.
And they're calling.
Why would a pregnant woman hitchhike? 7 weeks pregnant?
Calling on rideshare drivers in the area to help too.
There's so many scenarios that have gone through all of our heads, so many theories that everybody has. It's all skepticism at this point. We don't know what happened to her, but we're not giving up hope.
All right, so let's play a couple more on this here. This is a day ago. We'll do this one here. This was not a day. We'll do this one. No, I don't want to do that one yet. Yeah, we'll do this one.
Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We have a really distressing story that's happening out east right now. It has been more than a week since 18-year-old Kylie Montero was last seen or heard from. Police are using dogs, drones all across Rehoboth, Massachusetts to try to find her, even bringing in a dive team to search a local reservoir.
This is really strange because I just tied, I didn't tie it into it, but I don't know if you guys were here a few weeks ago when we did the, we touched base on this supposed New England serial guy here, or person, perhaps. And there's been all of these bodies that have been showing up along the interstate here.
And here's the thing, we're not just talking about a missing teenager. There is growing concern that Kylie, who is 3 months pregnant, according reportedly to her family, might have met with foul play. And one of the last messages she apparently sent is contributing to the fear that something is really wrong. So first of all, this is one of those cases where you out there can help. If you see something, say something, report it. I'm going to describe.
Nobody is better with ruining phones than I am. I've ruined so many phones in my life. I've run them over, left them on top of my car, dumped them in coffee, you name it, thrown them at windows. You name it, I've done it with a phone.
Kylie Montero to you. She described as being 6 feet tall, brown hair, brown eyes. According to the Rehoboth police, she was last seen on August 7th wearing a red t-shirt that said, "Get over it" on the front, wearing ripped blue jeans, tan boots. She was spotted near County Street in Rehoboth. That's about 50 miles from Boston. She recently graduated from Attleboro High School, shared several photos and videos of herself in a purple cap, gown, showing off her diploma. She also posted photos of herself all glammed up for prom. And some of those pictures apparently featured her boyfriend and potentially the father of her unborn child. You go on social media and it indicates that his name appears to be Greg.
Yes, 6 feet tall. I've done, you name it. I'm pretty sure my son's ruined a few phones too. It's got to be a thing in the family where if there's going to be something to go, the first thing to go is the phone. Like if we get angry, it's the phone. The phone is going to get destroyed. It's just the way it is. Right.
Groom. He reportedly lives near Warren Upper Reservoir in Rehoboth, according to Boston 25. And her family says her last known location was at her.
Well, I was sitting in, where was I? Sitting in my car once, and I forget what I was doing. I was really angry, and I literally threw the phone at the floor. And as soon as I let go of the phone, I knew it was a bad idea. And instead of throwing the phone at the floor, it slipped out of my hand and went right into the windshield. And that was the end of the phone and the windshield. So, yeah.
Her boyfriend's house. It's believed that Kylie was picking up some of her belongings from his house when she went missing. Now, to be clear, he has not been named a person of interest or suspect in this case, but we'll talk a little bit more about him later on. I will say family members told local Massachusetts outlets ABC6 and WCVB that Kylie had been living at a homeless shelter for pregnant women in Pembroke, Massachusetts.
Yeah, cell phones are not good. They're I had this one though for a while. They're always trying to get me one of those covers, one of those face shields and stuff like that for your phones, and I'm like, that's not going to do any good. This is weird. This is a weird case.
Massachusetts, that she and her boyfriend were reportedly in this off-on relationship, that there had been reports of domestic issues. This is according to a post by her sister Kitty on Facebook, that the night before she disappeared, there was allegedly some sort of argument or altercation, although the details on that haven't really been provided at this point. A friend told WCVB that the last time she heard from Kylie, the teen said something was off. Quote,
hold on a second. The worst I've done is throw a soup can at a wall and caused a dent in the dry wall. Oh, that's too funny. Silly Simon paid the pieman. He was like, I don't feel safe right now. Something's not right. I tried talking with her after that, and she just stopped responding to me after that. I just wanted her to know that, like, we miss you. We're not going to stop trying to find this kid.
She was like, I don't feel safe right now. Something's not right. I tried talking with her after that, and she just stopped responding to me after.
So this is a victim's friend here.
That. I just want her to know that, like, we miss you, and we're not going to stop trying to find you. Kylie also reportedly called several family members, friends after that argument. You have another sister, Faith Montero, says that she offered to pick Kylie up according to reporting from the Daily Mail, but Kylie seemingly declined. Faith told ABC6, "It's been very difficult. We're very scared. We hope she's okay. This is not like her at all. She would never just disappear."
You hear this stuff all the time. This is not like her at all. She would never just disappear. That's like, you know,
the circumstances don't seem good. It's a lot of speculation. We really don't know what happened. And according to Kylie's social media posts, her childhood wasn't easy. Both of her parents are dead. She recently lost a beloved uncle. She has also posted about bullying that she endured at school. Faith told ABC6 that her sister likely doesn't have enough life experience to survive on her own. So while
this is so sad, this is such a sad thing. This is a sad case here.
our thoughts and our prayers are going to the family right now, and we're trying to put her name out there and her image out there for anybody who has information. Now I want to get some different perspective. By the way, I know many of you might be true crime fans out there, but is anyone also in a business of some kind? If so, let me ask you something. How much time do you think your business team is just wasting in spreadsheets, chasing down receipts, or accounting? Now, loved ones say they hope Kylie just ran away. Maybe she's scared to come home, but there are a lot of indications that something could be seriously wrong here. So to talk about what goes into searches for endangered people, I want to bring in a special guest. I want to bring on an expert in this area, Steve Fisher, who is a missing persons private investigator. Steve, thank you so much for coming on.
It would take me almost 3 hours to get, 2.5 hours to get down here. Oh, that's far.
Now, to be clear, you haven't been involved in the search for Kylie, but I got to get your opinion on this. I got to get your gut reaction when you're hearing about this story. What are some of the things that stand out to you?
Well, 18 years old, pregnant, and a boyfriend that she apparently had some sort of physical confrontation on the 6th, and who has, been silent so far.
I hate cell phones. I can't stand cell phones. But I don't even know what I have. I know a few years back, I decided that I was going to go back to a flip phone. That was a mistake.
And her own family and friends have expressed their fear that they have that there could be foul play involved here.
I got to put that aside for a second to ask the question. It sticks out to me. I mentioned this before. There is this concern that she doesn't have survival instincts, that she's so young that if she walked off on her own, she wouldn't know how to take care of herself. Have you dealt with cases like that before? It's not an instance of foul play, but somebody walks off and, the tragedy of being on their own, something happens.
Absolutely. We see it with mental health cases. We see it with autism, Alzheimer's, things like that. And this could just be a scared teenager that had some sort of confrontation. If she doesn't have those survival instincts, then she's going to go into this hyper fear mode, because now she's caring for her unborn baby as well. And the environment around there, if she's not familiar with it, once you get in those woods, it can get really disorienting. If she, for some reason, went there or was trying to get out of the area and thought she was taking some path, through the woods or shortcut or something.
And just to be clear, we have so little information. We're trying to piece together what exactly is going on here. You got to also wonder, young woman by herself, pregnant, it's a vulnerable target, right? Not of somebody who even would know her, but just in generally speaking, and I'm not speculating about the year. Unfortunately, in the society we live in, she's on by herself out there. That could be a problem.
Absolutely, because if she doesn't have those survival instincts, then she's probably very willing to ask for or accept help, and you don't know who that person may be, and like you said, she's alone and she's vulnerable. There's a lot of options of what could be going on here, and days go on. The hopeful options, the lost or scared and just hiding out or just going off the grid for a few days, unfortunately, those odds are diminishing,
This idea of maybe she's out there, she's fine, not uncomfortable to come forward. Have you seen a case like that before, where after all the press and whatever was going on in her life right beforehand, that would be the best scenario, right? She's fine. She's just scared to come forward, uncomfortable to come forward. I hope that's what's going on. But have you seen a case like that?
I actually have seen it. What happens?
Did they name a street yet, or like a in chats I've been in about Sebastian Rogers, we call him fish sticks. Yeah, I got to get back into that too.
Is these people go missing or in don't consider themselves missing, and then also it turns into a huge case. And we saw that in actually the case when the girl was flying from Hawaii to New York and stopped at LAX and kind of went off and did her own thing, and it turned into this nationwide search, and she didn't even know what was going on. And so it can be a situation like that where she could just be scared and be like, how do I unring this bell? How do I
He's the PI hired to find Sebastian, and he's just awful and produces red herring videos to throw everyone off the scent of his mom and stepdad. In the Sebastian Rod case, yeah. Something in that case tells me there's something like more of like a bullying type thing going on in that case, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
explain that? So that does happen. However, now getting into 8 days, getting a little outside of that time frame.
Yeah, I hear you. But let's say this is the situation. What would be communicated to Kylie if she's watching anything, seeing anything? What are the avenues for her to come forward? And again, I hope that's what the scenario is. What should be communicated to her to feel safe to come forward?
Listen, if you're Kylie, you've done absolutely nothing wrong. You know, people are just very concerned and looking for you, and these people love you, and there's a search going on, but you're not in any trouble. They're not looking for you because you're in any trouble. They're looking for you just for your own safety. So just call, reach out to any friend, reach out to law enforcement, reach out to, literally anybody, and just explain that you need to get in touch with law enforcement. They will.
There's a possibility that she could be okay.
Very understanding. I promise you there's not going to be any negative blowback.
Got to talk about this boyfriend. On again, off again, reported boyfriend. To be clear, has not been named as any sort of person of interest by police or a suspect.
Are you talking about the guy that's on as the guest here, Jocelyn? Because I can change it. I just I can change that. There's I'm gonna go over that case here too.
But of course, it's pretty standard operating procedure to look at the person, the partner, the significant other when a person goes missing. What do you think investigators are doing behind the scenes? What are they talking about? What are they looking?
All right, let me change that. Hold on a second, because I hate watching this. I'm trying to get some more information in the. Did we play CBS Boston? Yeah, hold on a second. All right, hold on. Let me share this again. Yeah, they're just talking about nothing anyways. It's
Rehoboth for missing pregnant teenager. 18-year-old Kylie Montero hasn't been seen in almost a week. WBZ's Beth Germano is live for us in Rehoboth tonight. Do police have any leads at this point as to where she may be?
Well, they do know the location where she was apparently last seen. So they've been searching in these woods behind me near the local high school. But this has become
the local high school. Okay, thank you. Rehoboth, that would be Rehoboth.
a desperate situation for family and friends since so much time has now passed. The fear grows with each passing day. 18-year-old Kylie Montero hasn't been seen in nearly a week.
She's so timid. She's scared. She doesn't know how to be on her own.
Rehoboth and state police with canine units have been searching woods near County Street, where they say she was last seen. Her family says for Kylie to leave without contacting anyone is highly unusual.
It worries me that the fact that she
would have contacted her family. And with her going this long without contacting her family is a big concern.
Adding to the worries, Kylie is 11 weeks pregnant. Her family says there was an argument with her boyfriend and a final text between the teen and her sister last Thursday. Best friend Sophia Cordero.
All right, hold on. Let's go for a drive here. Ugh. They just said County Street, right? Senior Center. Let's do high school here. Well, she was last seen at the high school, right? So this is so there's the high school. What? Sorry. This is better. Okay, so let's take a little ride here. We'll go. This is all wooded in here. We're going to go from here to the school. This is all, you're not going to see any cameras here. Maybe some ring cameras here. Just past that guy. This is County, they said County Street, right? County. I do this because I try to look for maybe cameras that would be. They might have a ring camera in that house. Sorry to bore you all with this here, but you're already car sick. Sorry. Where the hell was I? Right here. Yeah, this is not good if she's, I mean, there's nothing around here. Let's go up here. Same thing. Same yeah, you know, you might find some ring cameras around here. So this is now News Street. So we went from County Street to News Street. Might be a ring camera here. There's nothing though. There's no Okay, so there's the high school there, but there's nothing. Cameras, and I'm pretty sure there's cameras here at the school. All right, let's go back. Unfortunately, there's Beasley's here. Good to see Florida, Dave. I don't see any cops. Beasley's here. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so let's go back to. Then we'll move on to something else. I'll keep an eye on this here, but this is not good here.
Darrow says they talk every day.
I just want her to know that, like, we miss you, and we're not gonna stop trying to find you.
Her family says Kylie just graduated from high school and had plans to go to welding school. Her pregnancy complicated those plans, and her family was doing all they can to support her.
Well, she had great potential, and then she found out she was pregnant. So, we were trying to work with her as best as possible and, try to help her and establish her to have goals to be a mom and how to be a mom.
Kylie would have never just left without going to a specific destination or letting somebody know where she was going.
A friend is even trying to spread awareness by posting videos. Family and friends are trying to remain hopeful as the searches continue in the area and desperate for any information.
Someone knows where she is.
I guarantee you the boyfriend's been questioned. I can guarantee you that much right now. Like, he's probably been, you need another old Milwaukee. You might need 12 of those.
Or someone knows they've seen her on Ring doorbells, or, they know where her whereabouts is and they can bring her home safe and sound.
And they don't want any trail to go cold here. Now, Kylie is 6 feet tall with brown hair, last seen wearing a red t-shirt with ripped jeans. Police are asking anyone in the public with information to come forward to help this investigation. Reporting live from Rehoboth, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
Beth, thank
So I'll just kind of keep an eye on this here. This is just sad. I don't know what's going on with this here. We'll play one more. Oof, there's just so many kids that are missing. It's just
She was very happy. She would be 11 weeks pregnant this week.
The sisters of a missing local 18-year-old woman who's pregnant reveals new details on her mysterious disappearance. Kylie Montero has not been.
This was done a day ago. Rehoboth police refused to say Friday if they're still searching for 18-year-old Kylie Montero, saying the missing persons case isn't being classified as an investigation at this time, but rather an open fluid incident. So it's possible that she's just hiding out. Who knows?
Been seen in more than a week. She was reported missing by her boyfriend. Kylie's sisters are desperate for answers as police continue to search Rehoboth, where she was last seen. The night team Sam Reed joins us live now from Rehoboth. Sam?
Patrice, 18-year-old Kylie Montero is with several siblings. Tonight, two of her sisters telling me that her disappearance is completely out of character and that they fear for her safety.
This is not normal behavior. We have no clue what happened.
It's been 8 days since anyone has seen or heard from 18-year-old Kylie Montero, who was last.
Do you think it's possible she just took off?
Seen on August 7th near County Street in Rehoboth.
The last time we heard her voice was Wednesday night, but last point of contact was Thursday through text.
Her sisters telling NBC 10 that she wandered away Thursday night
Texts.
from her estranged boyfriend's house that borders the reservoir, the same area law enforcement have been searching for days.
Hold on a second.
Night, but last point of contact was Thursday through text.
Her sisters
Thursday through text. And then, hold on a second. What did she say?
telling NBC 10 that she wandered away Thursday night from her estranged boyfriend's house that borders the reservoir.
She wandered away from her boyfriend's house. I don't think that's possible.
Same area, law enforcement have been searching for days.
He woke up Friday morning and realized that she wasn't there. He got worried and contacted the police.
Roughly 5 years ago, after her mom's passing, her sisters say she moved in with her aunt and uncle in Attleboro, where she graduated high school. In March, she met her boyfriend, moved in with him, and became.
Why would she wander away from her boyfriend's house? Did they get into an argument or something? Possibly.
Pregnant. Things have been on and off ever since.
She was staying with me previous to the home. It was a shelter for homeless pregnant women in Pembroke, Mass. It's called Bethesda House, and she stayed there for about 3 weeks, and she had been kicked out because she had to go to the hospital the day before because she had vaginal bleeding. She
Oh my God.
back till 6 a.m, and she missed the mandatory morning meeting.
They say that's how she recently ended up back in Rehoboth. What do you think happened to your sister?
We really don't know. We have no clue, but none of it adds up because knowing her and her personality and how she was, this is
Why didn't she just go to a hospital?
very scary.
With plans of parenting in the future, they say despite rough circumstances, Kylie was eager to become a mom.
So happy. She said if it was a girl, she was going to name her Eleanor.
They say
Nothing beats Narragansett. I remember Narragansett beer. You used to be able to read those stupid little rhymes inside the cap.
they believe the same can be said for her unborn child's father, who has been at the center of speculation.
We don't know how he feels, but like he has an unborn baby out there. He's worried sick, I bet.
Having not heard from her for days, optimism has turned to fear for their sister and her unborn child.
So it's been out.
If you have bleeding like that, wouldn't you just go to a hospital? Wouldn't you just I mean, that's got to be a little scary right there.
Absolutely nerve-wracking, not knowing where she is and not knowing, when's the last time she ate, when's the last time she, slept, is she okay?
The sisters tell me while they don't know where the search stands with local law enforcement, they plan to search for Kylie until she's found. Anyone with information on the disappearance of Kylie
I used to like regular Molson.
is asked to contact the Rehoboth Police Department. Live in Rehoboth tonight, Sam Reed, NBC 10 News, Night Team.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. All right, it's right here. I could just go right here to this. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that for sure, but I do want to get into the missing person case of the week. And that's going to be this here. Now we don't have to do this. So we do this like once a week when these guys are on. This is the News Nation missing person case of the week. So this is Ashley Summers. So this week in missing, Marnie Hughes looks into the disappearance of Ashley Summers, a teen from Cleveland who vanished in the summer of 2007. Weeks before her 14th birthday, the summer marks 18 years since she vanished. Before she went missing, Ashley was constantly being moved between two relatives' houses. It was days before anyone realized that the teen was ever gone. Really? But as fast as her family put up missing flyers, mysteriously, someone was taking them down. Did we go over this before? Her disappearance prompted investigations to look at the possible connection between Ashley and two women kidnapped in the area and confined and became known as, oh, wow. Remember the House of Horrors? All this comes as a relative of Ashley's was convicted of SCs against a minor and is now serving. A relative of Ashley's was convicted of SA against a minor, is now serving 35 years. Okay.
I'm Marnie Hughes, and this is Missing. Thank you for joining us. Each week, we cover a missing persons case that isn't getting much attention. Every missing person matters, no matter their...
Remember the House of Horrors case? The guy was, he had all of those, I think it was girls held hostage in his house. He was basically getting him to do all kinds of stuff, and they didn't know who they were. Remember that?
Race, background, or circumstances. And by highlighting these cases and sharing their stories, we believe that every case is solvable. Together, we can bring answers to the family and friends of missing. This week's featured case takes us to Cleveland and an unsolved mystery 18 years in the making. This is Ashley Summers, 14 years old, when she vanished in 2007.
By the time they did the grapevine through all the relatives, it took a little while to realize that nobody knew where she was.
And as fast as the family says they could put up flyers, they say someone was taking them down. Coming up, Ashley's disappearance, possible sightings, and a relative now behind bars, but no Ashley. First, though, some other missing cases that we are following. Have you seen Eric Wadila, missing in the Chicago area, 22 years old, when he was last seen in the Seba Park area in South Elgin on July 28th? His car was found 3 days later in the park's parking lot. His family is desperately looking for him and asking for the public's help. Eric is from Plainfield, Illinois, in Will County. The sheriff's office in both Will County, along with police in South Elgin, are both investigating Eric's disappearance. Sadly, the body of a missing teen has been found in a retention pond in Florida. 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier is from North Carolina. He was vacationing with his mom when he went missing. His mom says he was looking forward to connecting with some relatives on his dad's side of the family during the trip. She says a group of cousins that he didn't know well picked him up at about 1:30 in the morning. Shortly after that, the mom received a text and some phone calls from him asking.
This is interesting because, hold on a second. Is that this guy here? Anthony Edward Sowell was an American SK and a rapist known as the Cleveland Strangler. He was convicted in 2011 of murdering 11 women whose bodies were discovered at his Cleveland, Ohio home in 2009 after being. Is that this case here? I'll have to look into this too, Derek. This is very strange.
For help. Unfortunately, she did not see those messages until the following morning. Police say Giovanni's body was located along I-75 in Manatee County days later. An autopsy has been done, but because of the advanced stage of decomposition, no word on a cause of death. Giovanni is described as a
Yeah, I was going to cover this one here too. This came out this week too, I think.
protector and kind. Now to this week's missing case. This summer marks 18 long years for a Cleveland family whose daughter disappeared weeks after her 14th birthday. The search for Ashley Summers has had federal agents chasing down lookalikes, excavating neighborhoods, and seeing the conviction of a close relative for sex crimes against children. This while the family had nearly 48 hours of pure joy when they mistakenly believed Ashley was found alive.
Her great uncle arrested, her neighborhood canvassed, nearby backyards excavated. But still, Linda Summers recalled tensions with her mother.
She'd actually taken some money from out of her mom's drawer, which is actually the rent money. It was quite a bit of money. And then, so her and her mom got in an argument.
A
A runaway, Ashley rotated between two relatives' homes, which meant that after the 4th of July, it took several days for anyone to realize the teen was missing.
By the time they did the grapevine through all the relatives, it took a little while to realize that nobody knew where she was.
As fast as the family could put up flyers, someone was taking them down. Then a possible nighttime sighting.
And there was this girl walking towards us. We had reports that she had cut her hair short and dyed it blonde. And we thought I thought it was her. And by the time we kind of went back and forth, this is her, is it not her? I don't think it's her. Yes, I said, well, let's turn around and just see. By the time we got turned around and down, she had disappeared down an alley. So we kind of lost that girl.
And the case lost momentum. That's when federal agents tied Ashley's disappearance to that of some other local girls, Gina De Jesus and Amanda Berry.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years.
Spring of 2013, the young women escaped from their kidnapping.
Okay, so this is the guy here. Hold on a second here.
To realize that nobody knew where she was.
As fast as the family could put up flyers, someone was taking them down. Then a possible nighttime sighting.
There was this girl walking towards us. We had reports that she had cut her hair short and dyed it blonde. And we thought I thought it was her. And by the time we kind of went back and forth, this is her, is it not her? I don't think it's her. Yes, I said, well, let's turn around and just see. By the time we got turned around and down, she had disappeared down an alley. So we kind of lost that girl.
And the case lost momentum. That's until federal agents tied Ashley's disappearance to that of some other local girls, Gina De Jesus and Amanda Berry.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years.
Spring of 2013, the young women escaped from their kidnapper from Cleveland's infamous House of Horrors.
And I look, and it's girl, and she just going nuts on the door.
For me, what stands out is that she had gone missing a few years after Gina had gone missing. Interviews with family.
Gina De Jesus' cousin co-founded Cleveland Missing, a support center to help families.
They had heard family that Gina and Amanda had been found, but they also heard there was a third girl, and they really believed it was Ashley. And every time I think about it, it just chokes me up.
We thought it was Ashley that was in there. And then we found out it wasn't Ashley. And then you're just like, oh.
I think it's good to get her name out there nationally.
In a 2015 interview with Fox 8 Cleveland, Ashley's mother appreciative of FBI efforts to spread details about Ashley's tattoo. Renewed attention netting this picture, a woman with a strong resemblance to Ashley, wanted for questioning in an identity theft case in Rhode Island.
And if you look at Ashley Summers' age progressed photo, and even her—
Well, that's what I'm saying. I could see where they're going with that, but I think the other girls in the house would have said something. But maybe he didn't take her home. Anyway, hold on 1 second. I want to. So this is a write-up on Ashley Nicole Summers, born June 16, 1993, was 14 years of age when she disappeared from her home in Cleveland, Ohio in 2007. Her whereabouts remain unknown. Summers was last seen at 6 p.m. So nighttime, July 4th, 2007. It would have been light out. In an area of West 64th Street and Madison Avenue. Earlier that day, Summers went to a pool party at a relative's house. After spending a few hours swimming in the pool, she decided to visit her Aunt Christina, who lived within a 10-minute walk distance away from the pool. She never made it. Because she was frequently staying with her relatives, her disappearance went unnoticed until 2 days later. So we know that. I'm gonna copy this. Hold on a second. Can't. All right, remember that. Her great uncle Kevin Donathan said that during an argument with Ashley on the morning of her disappearance, he grabbed her phone and broke it. Awesome. Thus, she had no longer had any way to contact her family or friends. At the time of her disappearance, Ashley had a tattoo of a heart and the word Gene in reference to Gene Gill, a boy who she was dating at the time. Okay. Let's go back to
Her last photo that we have, there's a striking resemblance to this ATM photo.
It's Hope is the closest picture we've seen that resembles her. Is it her? I don't know. But it's the closest picture that we've seen, so it's worth looking into.
After it was proven not to be Ashley, the case took an even darker turn.
I do know that law enforcement's still looking at he's not off the list of suspects.
He is Kevin Donathan, Ashley's great uncle, the one her family says she was staying with when she disappeared, who in 2020 pled guilty to rape of a child and other sexual crimes against minors, now serving a 35-year prison sentence.
The fact that it was minors that he molested, and I think everybody kind of knows where your mind takes you. Like, basically, what did he do to Ashley?
Painstaking ground searches can FBI and Cleveland police in 2021, turning up animal bones, nothing else shared with the public. In a NewsNation exclusive from his prison cell in Ohio, Kevin Donathan, for the first time, publicly denying any involvement in Ashley's disappearance, pointing fingers at a relative. It all leaves Ashley's family aching for the ending that came for 3 brave women and their loved ones.
We know what 9 long years is like, and they've gone through it even longer now. Ashley now is in her 30s. She went missing when she was 14 years old. That's a lot of years.
Anytime you see those stories where people
okay. Sorry to keep doing this, but 1 second. Yeah, they're everywhere freaking sickos. It's just absolutely annoying. These people are just okay, so I found this here. This is where she would have been walking here, Madison Avenue West 96th Street, which is right here. This is in Cleveland, Ohio. So yeah, I mean, anything could happen here. This is West 96th Street here, and it doesn't go through. So, all right, let's go back to
are found years later. It gives you hope.
We reached out to the FBI about Ashley's case and the status of the investigation, and I want to share with you some of what they told us. They say although the proximity of Ashley's initial disappearance to Amanda Berry and Gina De Jesus was close, they still don't have any reason to believe that Ashley's disappearance is related to the Castro cases. They also say this case is still active, that every tip and lead matters, and they remind the public that sharing information, even if it's been years or decades, can be a heavy burden. They say no detail is too small or insignificant, and that any tips that come in can remain anonymous. Joining us now is Linda Summers, Ashley's step-grandmother. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry for what your family has gone through all these years with no answers. I want to go back to the flyers. You guys, and you included, Linda, were initially putting up flyers when you noticed Ashley was gone. Somebody was taking them down. What did that tell you at that time? And did you ever find out more about who that was?
No, we don't know who was taking him down. At the time, we assumed it was Ashley or somebody who knew where she was. But we don't know at this time who was specifically doing that.
What kind of contact do you all have with law enforcement? The FBI says the case is active,
I think that's the age. Is that the age progression there?
but it's only getting renewed effort when it makes a headline or a tip comes in. Do you get much information or updates from authorities investigating this?
I don't personally, but I know her mother's the point of contact with them. So I'm not sure how often she hears from them, though.
18 years is a long time to not see Ashley. What do you want the public to know about her? Any identifying features, what you miss most?
Well, obviously the biggest identifying feature is her tattoo. One thing I would like people to know is that, she was 14 years old and her family has really missed her over the years. She has a brother she's never met. She's now having nieces and nephews and other family that obviously is growing. She's missed milestones. So I asked the public to think about if it was your loved one sitting and you have that empty chair every holiday, every birthday, and you don't know where your loved one is. So we're just appealing to their hearts and asking people if they, especially people that knew her back then.
What is a great uncle? Yeah, yes, it is.
She said anything to you and you think you didn't really think much of it, please just report it anonymously if you're not comfortable giving your name. Because like they said, any tip can help us find something that may have what has happened to her.
Yeah, even a small piece of information. We did make contact, as we reported a moment ago, with Ashley's great uncle who is in prison, and he told.
So that's the number there. I'll try to copy and paste this or put this up somewhere at some point. 216-623-5263 for Ashley Summers. This is one of those cases where I think the police know who did it. They just don't have enough evidence to make an arrest.
Told us he had no involvement in her disappearance. Instead, he pointed the finger at other relatives. I want to stay away from any names, but have you heard his denial before?
Dad's uncle. Okay, thanks. That's a very kind of, I don't want to say very, but that's kind of like a distant relative, right?
For Linda, and what is your reaction to what he's now saying?
No, I've not heard him. Actually, I think you guys are the first people who've reached out to him, and that's the first I've heard of him denying anything.
What was going on in Ashley's life at the time, and why was she living with this relative?
Well, like I explained before, she had taken some money from her mom, and they had a fight, and they decided that I think she started at another relative's house and then ended up at his house, and they just decided to give her some cool down time, let her and to like take some time apart from each other to reestablish a relationship. They could become closer in the long run, and that's kind of what the hope of that situation was.
So he remains a person of interest, but in your mind, are there other family members or acquaintances?
Well, you know what, in my mind, I have a lot of different theories. He's one theory. There's other theories I have. It's at this point, it's really kind of hard to say. We're just looking for tips and clues that might lead us in one direction or another.
And have there been any recently in the last few years?
No.
Right. So a great uncle is like your grandparents' brother, one of the brothers. This is a strange little case here. Have I done this case before? This case sounds familiar. I don't know why I just did that. Second here. So she's been missing for 18 years, 1 month, and 13 days. Police initially considered Summers a runaway due to her history with her family in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, including the rebellious act of getting a tattoo without her mother's permission. However, the family disagreed after a week, and at a week after she disappeared, they banded together to search the neighborhood and surrounding areas for her. The FBI later speculated she may have been kidnapped and that her disappearance might have been related to this House of Horrors guy here. They're saying that that's not. On June 16, 2013, family and friends of Summers celebrated her 20th birthday by passing out flyers and releasing balloons. On November 7, 2018, police and the FBI visited Holmden Avenue, a location that Summers was known to visit. Authorities looked behind a home on Holmden Avenue and uncovered new information on possible times and locations at which Summers might have been spotted before she disappeared. The FBI was involved in this. I wonder why the FBI was involved in this. Maybe because it's a minor. In 2025, Special Agent Kristen McCaskill of the FBI said, "We believe there's an individual out there who has information, and that individual could really hold a piece of the." They say that all the time. And if you have a piece of that information, or you remember talking to Ashley back then, or you remember hearing something about maybe where she went or what happened, please call us. And then you have obviously the proverbial old reporting sightings. Her family received a phone call from a girl believed to be Summers herself, telling them not to worry, that she was safe. So in August 2007, 1 month after Summers went missing, her family received a phone call from a girl believed. I don't know if they think that was her. In 2015, there were rumors that Summers had been spotted at an ATM in Rhode Island. The rumors were dismissed later that year. Okay, so there you go. The FBI determined that that woman in the picture was not Summers. Okay, very good. That's it. That's the only write-up. So she was born in Cleveland and disappeared in Cleveland. All right.
No, not recently.
If you could say anything to Ashley, if she left on her own and she's been gone all these years and happens to see this, what would you say to her, Linda?
Oh, I would tell Ashley to please contact your family. We miss you, love you. Your mom really misses you. Nobody is going to be mad at you. You know, if you think
Tropical
that's the
Canadian
issue,
weddings.
we're going to welcome you with open arms. And if you're not sure who to contact, the Cleveland Center for the Missing is a good point of contact, or even any of law enforcement.
I know you all got your hopes up. We talked about the Cleveland House of Horrors. You know, how troubling was that for you all to see other girls come home but still miss Ashley?
I mean, it was a bag of mixed emotions. We were sad it wasn't Ashley, obviously, disappointed. But we were also glad the other families were able to be reunited with their loved ones.
Well, I hope for your sake and for everyone who loves and misses Ashley, that this message gets to her or to someone who knows something about what happened, so we can bring you all some answers and some closure. Linda Summers, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And thank you for highlighting her story. We appreciate any news we can get for her.
Absolutely. That is what we are here for. If you have information that can help investigators find the answers in the disappearance of Ashley Summers, you can contact Cleveland Police. And if you have a missing case you think we should investigate, Visit our missing page on newsnationnow.com. Many of the cases we cover come from you. You can also sign up for our weekly missing newsletter for the latest missing cases that we are actively investigating. I'm Marnie Hughes in Chicago. As always, thank you for joining us this week for Missing. I'll see you back here for another missing case next week.
Okay, so I don't know. That's pretty much the end of that. I don't know. There's really not a lot of other information on that there. I do want to do this case next. Hold on a second. Stop that. We'll get out of that. I'll keep an eye on that too. I think I know who did that. That other one. I'm pretty sure police do too. I just don't think they have enough evidence to arrest them. All right, so this is the somebody else mentioned this in chat a little while ago. So this was done a day ago. In the wake of 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier's tragic unaliving coroner, Dr. Naida Rutherford joins Law and Crime's Jesse Weber to break down the forensic process behind his identification. Okay, so this has been really disturbing here.
Vacation ended in tragedy when 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier went missing. Authorities have now confirmed that the body found in a Florida pond is indeed him. With questions still swirling about his final hours, I'm going to be speaking with a coroner about the forensic process, what the identification means, what we still need to know, and what might be happening behind the scenes. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. This is not an update I wanted to bring to you here on Sidebar. We talked about the case of Giovanni Pelletier, the 18-year-old North Carolina teen who went missing earlier this month. We did a whole sidebar on him. Well, now authorities have confirmed that the body found in a Manatee County pond is indeed Giovanni. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office said the District 12 Medical Examiner's Office used dental records to confirm his identity. They say his body was in such an advanced state of decomposition that it required additional forensic testing. The cause of death, to be clear, we don't know what it is. It hasn't yet been determined. As officials, they await toxicology results, which could take several weeks. But if you haven't been following the case, I'm going to catch you up. 18-year-old Giovanni Pelletier had traveled with his mom, Bridget, her fiance, and his 4 young siblings to Englewood, Florida. That's on the Gulf Coast. It's south of Tampa and St. Petersburg. But this trip wasn't just about beaches and family time. It was something else. It had more meaning.
This is so horrible. This is such a beautiful place to be right down here.
Because Giovanni was also planning to meet some cousins from his dad's side of the family, people that he had never met before, barely remembered, in hopes of reconnecting. But instead, days later, he's found dead in a pond off I-75. This case is complicated. It stretches across multiple Florida counties and involves several different law enforcement agencies. It includes conflicting accounts of what happened in Giovanni's final hours. So
Look at that water. My God. Oh.
I want to walk you through the timeline here. Now, Giovanni grew up in the Raleigh, North Carolina.
I need a road trip to Florida. Literally.
Area. But until age 4, he lived in Florida. And after turning 18 this past April, Bridget, his mother, says he became very curious about his father's side of the family. She's of Italian and Puerto Rican descent. His dad is African American. And Giovanni wanted to connect with that part of his family trait.
How does that happen?
Before the trip, he joined a group chat with 3 paternal cousins. And then you go to August 1st at around 1:30 a.m. Those cousins apparently picked him up from Englewood. They were reportedly headed to Mims, that's on the other side of the state.
This is a long, arduous drive. It looks like it doesn't take a long time, but this could take literally forever.
It's several hours away. Now, why the cousins, who apparently had never met Giovanni before, picked him up so late at night, that we still don't have an answer for at the time of this recording. And by the way, the cousins' ages haven't been made public either, so just keep that point. But not long after leaving, Giovanni sent disturbing messages.
I love hockey too. Hockey's a great sport, especially the playoffs. I'm a huge Canadian fan, bro.
just to his family. One to his mom simply read, "Mom, help." Now, Bridget was asleep at the time. She didn't see it until
How many people believe that came from him?
the morning. He also apparently sent similar messages to his grandfather, his aunt. And by the time Bridget checked her phone, she had a FaceTime call from Giovanni. And there was a voicemail from his paternal grandfather saying there had been, quote, some kind of altercation and that the cousins had left them on the roadside in Bradenton. It's about 50 miles or so away from where the family had
I've been to Bradenton. Actually
been vacation. But here's the thing. She later told People magazine, "My son eats, sleeps, showers, breathes his phone." She said he would never have left it behind. So how did Giovanni end up outside the car? Well,
just sucks.
Bridget, one cousin later told her that they'd smoked marijuana with Giovanni after picking him up. This is an allegation. The cousin claimed that Giovanni got paranoid, cursed at him, threatened him with a knife during a roadside confrontation, and then ran off. Again, this is an allegation. But I will tell you that that account is...
The Maple Leafs? Really? Oh my God. The Pens are okay. The Habs are amazing. They're the most, I think they're still the winningest franchise in all of sports. So I don't know how they can suck.
Slightly different from the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office public statement. And that statement said that Giovanni, quote, began acting erratically before exiting the vehicle and walking away near State Road 70. ABC News has reported.
Do you think the dope was laced? Here's my buddy. He's awake now. He just heard sports. They cheated. Yeah, I don't think so. It'll be a long time. It'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years before the Toronto Maple Leafs win another Stanley Cup. It'll be, we'll all be dead. It'll be, wow.
That this information likely came from the cousins, but search efforts, they began across multiple counties immediately. Giovanni's family offered a $10,000 reward for...
Dieter's here. Hey, Dieter, good to see you. Do you want a wrench, buddy? Currently doing fantasy football mock drafts. Cool.
Information leading to his location, the arrest or conviction of anyone responsible for harming him. That reward, by the way, was reportedly later increased to $25,000. And according to posts from Bridget and other relatives on social media, Giovanni's paternal relatives didn't participate in any of the searches. Now, we couldn't confirm that on our own, but that's...
Where's Dirty Diana? I haven't seen Dirty Diana tonight. Hope she's well. She had a headache earlier today, so I hope she's okay.
Again, another allegation in this case. Not to take away from this story.
Dirty Diana's awesome too. She's got an amazing channel. She's just an absolutely wonderful person.
Anyway, but one of the reasons we can stay on top of this, follow it, bring you any kind of updates is because of our sponsors. And one of those sponsors is OneSkin.
Oh my God, shut up.
I know a thing or two about hair, and a lot of people are talking about this right here. This is OneSkin's scalp serum, the OS. This is before Giovanni's body had been found. And his goal was to clarify how his agency got involved. And he said the search parties in Brevard County were organized because of misinformation about the car that was involved, and there was no credible evidence Giovanni was ever in Brevard. We also spoke, by the way, with investigator Billy Lane from the volunteer group.
Oh, okay.
We Are the Essentials. This is an incredible group, a team of former law enforcement and military personnel who use their skills to help families locate missing loved ones. It's an incredible work that they do. Lane, who was brought in on this case, described their approach here.
We started a conversation Sunday night with the family, and what we try to do is provide ground assistance. We are, ground searchers. So our job is to gather as much facts as possible. We have to start our own.
These guys are awesome here.
own investigation because typically law enforcement won't share information with us, which is fine. So we start from ground zero using the family's information that they are able to provide us of the locations, times, dates, and places. And then Monday morning.
Is Heather still here? Is she okay? Is Heather okay? I haven't seen Heather for a while.
We were on the ground at 7 a.m. to start a ground search, and we started moving forward from there.
And what did you do after that?
So our ground searches typically were isolated to the area, which was very near where the family lived at. And this was based on several factors. One of them was text messages that we received, and we did a timeline of the text message. And based on the Help Mom Help text message, she would have been in this area in the vehicle. Based on the other information the mother had provided us, based on the GPS path of travel from the home back to Mims, would taken the car down that road. So we felt like this is a very important area. Plus, it hadn't been searched based on our information. And this was a 10-mile stretch of river road from Winchester to I-75 that was very secluded. There was no cameras out here. It was very wooded. There was construction zones out there. There are areas that people could have pulled off to the side of the road and stopped without anybody seeing them. Plus, at 2 o'clock in the morning on this road, they had very little traffic. So our job was to start eliminating, hopefully our job was to try and locate him alive and in good health. But the secondary is to try to eliminate areas that he is not in. So we were out there hoping to find him. But in the meantime, we were eliminating areas. We use a mapping program, and it shows every step we take. But what's most importantly, shows every step we don't take. So we're able to close in those areas. So for 5 days, we spent on the ground searching. But in addition to that, we also provided support for the family. We were answering questions for the family as former law enforcement officers. Why isn't this happening? When will this start happening? And what should we expect? In addition to that, we're also filtering outreach through media sources so we keep Giovanni's story alive in the news. So that was very time-consuming, to say the least. It was very encompassed. There was a lot of moving parts of this, and the fact that this could be a search that would span more than 50 miles from the home. So we had to organize and structure our search based on facts that were being given at the time.
Then we go to last weekend, and authorities preliminarily identified Giovanni's remains that were found in a retention pond near where he was last seen. Now, previously, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office said the body was so decomposed that additional testing was needed to confirm the identity. But we now know through the identification of those dental records that these are indeed the remains of Giovanni Pelletier. Bridget had started a GoFundMe to cover search expenses, but after Giovanni's death, she updated it to raise funds for funeral, medical, legal costs to raise more than $32,000 so far. The Change.org petition is now calling for the FBI to step in, citing the case's multi-county nature, potential gang connections, possible interstate elements, and it warns that without federal involvement, key evidence could be lost and those responsible may never be held accountable. Okay, so I want some perspective on this, and who better to bring in than Dr. Nada Rutherford from the Richland County Coroner's Office. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time. A little confused about dental records, exactly. So can you walk us through?
You guys are the best. Dino's the best. To Catch a Killer. That's a good one. Yes. Dino's taking off. Have a good night, buddy. It's always good to see Dino in here. Dino is awesome. Literally awesome. Your tummy hurts a little bit. Sorry about that, Heather. It's always good to see Dino in here. Have a good week, buddy. I go through binges and I watch videos about elephants. Elephants are awesome. Yes. You don't want to mess with an elephant, man.
How dental records exactly are used to confirm the identity of a body, especially when you have an advanced decomposition case like Giovanni's?
Well, sometimes that's all we have to go on. So when you have a person who is missing and you have a possible identity, one of the things that I say to families is, I don't want to give you someone else's bad news. So please, if you can remember where
You're taking off, Peggy O. Have a good night. Peggy O is absolutely amazing. Feel free to jump over to her channel. She's got a great live channel, great creator. Yes, elephants are amazing animals. They literally are. Have a good night, Peggy. Have a safe week. Always good to see Peggy Owen here.
Where your child, where your loved one may have had dental procedures done. Do they have a bridge in their mouth? Did they ever get veneers? Did they have their wisdom teeth removed? Give me a little bit of that dental history that you remember and where they may have been seen, because those x-rays lined up against the skeletal x-rays are going to give us a pretty clear picture.
This may be a juvenile question. I think I say that all the time when I interview an expert such as yourself, because this is not my expertise. But is it would I be correct in saying that when you're dealing with teeth, they are harder to destroy than other parts of the body, and while other parts of the body may be would not be able to be used to be for purposes of identification or easily destroyed, the teeth are different?
They are. They're going to typically stay with the skull unless.
I'll tell you something. I cannot lie, but one of the things I love about watching animals like that, especially elephants, is when tourists get too close and then they get not dead, but charged. Elephants are just absolutely amazing animals, man. But don't fuck with them, right? Just don't get out the car. Just observe them from afar and you should be fine. But if you get out of your car and start acting the fool, you're probably going to die.
Unless there's been some sort of blunt force injury, crushing injury, or projectile injury to the face. So sometimes if we're putting together a skull, because that's what's going to happen in the autopsy suite, this advanced decomposed body, not only will the pathologist take a look, but they will often bring in a forensic anthropologist who will help to piece the skull and lay out the skeleton as much as possible to look for blunt force injuries, to look for.
Can you believe they have to do that stuff? It's just so, it's so sickening, man.
Any crushing injuries, sawing injuries, cutting injuries that may have happened to the bone. And it's no different for the teeth. A lot of times when we find a skull, the teeth are still there unless they had some sort of dental procedure where teeth were removed. And so comparing those dental.
Elephants are not like this innocent creature, though. They when they all right, hurry back, Jocelyn. Include hippos, anything.
Records for someone that we believe it to be is very helpful.
And how accurate is it?
It's accurate. There's no two people have the exact same mouth. And so if you compare those dental records and they line up, that's the great thing about looking at the skeleton, is that your teeth have, like, you have your normal anatomy, right? But most of us have had a cavity. We're not going to have a cavity in the exact same spot. Those things should line up. And he's 18. He has to have some sort of dental history.
That's a good point. And by the way, just generally speaking, we're talking about a very specific state of these remains, where they were found. What are the challenges that coroners face when you have a body that's discovered in water in this advanced state of decomposition, and why does the decomposition happen?
So first of all, you can have a complete skeletonization of a body within 7 days. And most people don't know that. So they think that you're dealing with this whole body here. So let's talk about the factors. What has been the average temperature in Florida during the time that this young man was missing? What was
like 90, humid and 90, especially on the western side?
the precipitation levels? Was it rainy? Was it windy? What was going on during that time? Also, is there any animal activity for that area? So you have to think about gators. You have to think about any wildlife that may have come in contact with that body. Just vultures, for example, they're going to fly around where a decomposed body is. And so what is it that has happened to this body? And it does prove to be challenging because you not only have the outdoor elements, the temperature, but you also have water, and wet things break down faster. And so that moisture level is going to be really important. And what state, advanced decomposition can mean a number of things. If he was submerged, those gases started happening and he floated back to the top, he's not even going to look like himself for a visual identification. So they can only go off of what he was wearing, proximity of where he may have gone missing, but those dental records and then DNA are going to be the most helpful things to make sure that this is your man. But the other thing about this is, where are the other things that should have been with him? His cell phone, his backpack, his clothing items. Was he found naked? Was he found wearing clothes? So many things come into play because all of those things are going to tell us a little piece of the story.
Yeah, what do you think about it? I mean, this is a very interesting place for him to be found, right? This pond.
So here's my number one thought. Red flag leaving at 1:30 a.m. If my 18-year-old son is leaving at 1:30 in the morning, I'm staying up to make sure that he is where he tells me he's going to.
That is a little weird. But it's Florida. So, so if you're by a beach or something like that, or,
that was weird to me. But again, we listen and we don't judge. The other things that are challenging for me, the toxicology report was his.
We love you, Heather. We're big fans of yours. You're an amazing person. And if your phone dies, we'll catch you at some point this week. If you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. We love Heather here. Heather's amazing. Got some lightning and such starting, might disappear. All right, well, just stay safe, Dieter. And if you want a wrench, let me know. Yeah, it's an awesome channel too. I watch that all the time. You're an amazing person, Heather. I hope you feel better soon. Really do. Okay.
His body so advancedly decomposed that we have tissue. Do we have liver? Because that's probably going to be one of the things that's going to help us the most. A week out, we should still have some of the organs to be able to test: brain, liver, kidney. Do we have eyes? We don't know.
I wonder if they can still do a toxicology report, because that might help too.
Again, was there animal activity? Eyes are sometimes one of the first things to go. And so this is just a weird case. If you look at the time frame, 35 minutes max that he was gone from his mom. He called for help. He tried calling several people. He sent text messages. The cousin supposedly tried to call. What was this erratic behavior? Was he known to have erratic behavior? I want to look at his mental health history. I want to look at his medical history. What happened in this very short frame? And did he just spaz out and the cousins got freaked out and left him? Or were they doing drugs? Did this young man present something to them and say, hey, let's try this? We will never know. We need those cousins to talk.
By the way, about toxicology.
How
does toxicology testing work, and why does it take several weeks to determine the cause of death in a case like this?
Well, you want to be careful. You don't want to make any rush decisions. So you're looking, instead of us having blood and urine samples and possibly vitreous samples, which is from the eye, those things can be run a little bit faster. But when you're looking at the liver, brain, kidney, you have to do some more specialized testing, and you want to confirm that testing. So it's not about just doing a test and saying, hey, we see opiates here, or we see marijuana. It's about going the step, quantify those positive results so that you have to see if they fall within toxic or critical ranges.
I was wondering, one of the things that might be a challenge.
All right, so that's I'm gonna keep going on this because it's Dirty Diana still in here. I hope you're feeling better. It's always good to see Dirty Diana in here. I was just talking about you. I will keep an eye on this here. I do want to get going because it is getting late here. You guys are all probably getting sick of me here. So let's I do want to go this case really quick. Well, not really quick, but I do want to touch on this here. So last week I gave my impression on the Barbara Cotton case with Frank Dellapina. And now I'm going to do a little bit of a reading on this guy. You were napping? In the napping house? All right, so I'm going to really kind of read this here. These are the suspects anyways, and I know there's a third suspect. I believe it's one of the brothers, but I can't be sure. But I do want to stress this here with the Stacy Warder guy. I don't think he had anything to do with this, but I could be wrong. But the first suspect that I did last week, Frank Dellapina, I think he's highly suspect. And I think in this case here, I think the recreation park, the park that she walked into, I think that's a key to this investigation, a key in this case. But anyway, Stacy Warder was born. So Stacy Warder was the guy that was supposedly dating or Barbara Cotton's boyfriend, although the only people that can confirm that are pretty much gone, right? Barbara's mother, Barbara, and Stacy Warder. So he was born in 1959 in Eureka, California. Stacy was not someone who stood out of a crowd, but those who did know him say he was a nice guy. However, Stacy's sisters argue that contention memories they have of their brother included episodes where Stacy would become extremely violent, attacking members of his family, and even possibly burning down the family home in one recollection. The final straw was when he attempted to strangle their father with an extension cord. He was asked to leave. Stacy did just that and never looked back. Stacy was in the Navy sometime during 1980. He was discharged, and after they diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia, after the short time in the military, Stacy began to drift all over. Kind of like the Hulk. Remember the Hulk show? It is unknown where he could have been. He had no known address or even transportation. He must have worked odd jobs, possibly under the table. What we do know is that Louise Cotton, so the mother of Barbara Cotton, knew of Stacy Warder in some capacity, as she did have some information. She did have some information on him. So he supposedly worked at Cakes and Cones in Williston, North Dakota. She also knew he was in Montana 2 days after she last laid eyes on her daughter. The big question is how she knew about these details, because no one other than Louise could put Stacy Warder in Williston before, during, or after Barb was last seen. That's why I asked if there was a diary. There is no record of him until June. Am I sharing this? Yes. Latoya's here. You're kind of old here. 2 more hours, Dave. Good to see you, Latoya. It's good to see new people in here. All right. Where was I? There's no record of him until June 1981. On June 12th, 1981, Stacy served 10 days in Glasgow, Montana, for disorderly conduct. And I'm wondering if they picked him up for that so they could detain him. So they kind of, did some investigating into whether he could have had anything to do with Barbara Cotton. On July 15, 1981, Stacy was arrested in Malta, Montana, for disorderly conduct regarding an incident at the Villa Theater. He was in the company of an old acquaintance named Red. Red was not arrested, but the pair met just a week or so prior to the movie theater incident. Red was tracked down by Lisa Joe. She was just in our chat in 2022. Red vividly recalls how they met and kind of took a liking to each other. Stacy was transient, and Red was in the area to handle a settlement due to an injury he sustained. Both men had little money, if any. They camped and even hunted to survive. Using Stacy's .22. So Stacy had a gun. Getting to know one another, Red did learn many things about Stacy, but none of them had anything to do with Barb Cotton. Stacy never mentioned Barb's name to Red, but is there a reason for this? So that's him right there. That's a picture of him. He's no longer with us. He unalived himself in jail while he was being detained. Before doing this, Stacy contacted his family back in California. One of his sisters answered the phone. Stacy told her he was coming home. She warned her brother she received a new dog the Christmas prior, and that if he came home, she might bite him. The way I'm coming home, it won't matter. Tell Mom I'm sorry for what I did. From the first day Barb vanished, same thing it's in there. Louise was dead set on finding her daughter. All right, so that's I do want to read this though. This may be how Louise made contact with Stacy's family. So Barb's mother made contact with Stacy's family, and this poor woman, Louise, Barbara's mother, did everything she could to find her daughter in the beginning because the police weren't helping at all. So Louise also seemed to figure out Stacy was in Montana 2 days after her daughters vanished. Barb's sisters, Diane and Kathy, recall Louise being frantic, especially in the early days. However, years passed and Louise was still tracking down leads and hanging up missing posters. So, and this is all about Frank Della Pena right there. So according to this here, hold on a second here. Let me go back. Go back to this here. So this is the most common version, right? This is 1981, the most common version of the last time anyone saw Barb go something like this. So this is it right here. She last seen April 11, 1981, after having dinner with her boyfriend and another friend. We don't know who the friend was, and we don't even know who the boyfriend was, but we're assuming that was Stacy Warner. After dinner, her boyfriend offered to walk her home, but Barb declined. So I'm assuming that I don't know why Barb would have declined to get walked home. So we did this from the corner that the Plainsman Hotel occupied. Her boyfriend, which we assume was Stacy Warner, watched her walk into Recreation Park. And then she's never been seen or heard from again. So we did this in Barbara Cotton 1, right? We went to the corner where that corner is at the Plainsman Hotel, and you can see the park from there. So if that's the case, then that would make that believable, right? So this is the first, I believe this is the first version. Now there's another alternate version of the party scenario, and that would be Barbara Cotton right there. It's awesome. What's going on with Latoya? You're having surgery soon too? Why is everybody in my chat having surgery? That's good to see you, Latoya. Hope I'm saying that right. You got a channel? I'll have to subscribe to that. All right, so I do think the park is very important in this case. I think I'm going to run a scenario by you. So she walks into the park around 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night, and she meets suspect number one, Frank Delapino, in a park, and he kind of lures her with the puppy scenario thing and takes her from the park. And that's my theory. I think that park is very, very important into the Barbara Cotton thing. But I'm gonna keep going on this case here because I know it's important. And next week I'm gonna get into the whole party scenario thing and try to get some stuff out of that. So but that'll be next week because there's a lot of other stuff going on. I do want to go over this case here too, and then I want to get quickly into the New England serial killer type thing. But hold on a second here. So this happened this week too. Somebody else mentioned this in the chat too about this missing car from 1967. That's the year I was born there. So human remains found to 1967 missing persons case. Investigators believe the car and human remains were connected to a missing person case involving Roy Benn, a man who disappeared in 1967. So this is that story here. We may play two of these here. I believe this was in Minnesota. Okay.
Developments today in a nearly 6-decade-old cold case after a discovery at the bottom of the Mississippi River. Take a look.
What?
Sartell Police and the Stearns County Sheriff's Office removed.
It's open heart surgery?
This car from the river's bed in Sartell today and found a body inside. After locating the car's VIN number, police confirmed that car was registered to a.
This guy, Roy George Benn, or Ray, I can't read that. Ray George Benn, white.
Man who disappeared in 1967. Gordon Severson spent the day looking into this mysterious missing persons case and is us live with details. Gordon?
Yeah, this is where the Stearns County dive team went into the water to pull that car out of the Mississippi River. You can see they cleared a lot of the trees and grass here, and you might be able to There are dozens of these small pieces of rusty metal that broke off when they pulled that car out of the water over these rocks here. Now, the sheriff tells me that there was so much sediment and sand in the vehicle that they really couldn't tell if there was a body inside until they got it out of the water. On the Mississippi River in Sartell, a local fisherman noticed something strange in the water.
It was about 20 to 30 feet deep in that particular area.
Stearns County Sheriff Steve Soika sent his dive team to check it out.
Instantly determined it was a vehicle.
They knew the vehicle was old, but they never could have imagined it was connected to a man who went missing nearly 60 years ago.
Pretty much a mystery.
We did have a file on Roy.
Records at the Stearns History Museum showed 59-year-old Roy Ben went missing in September of.
So, for those who don't know a lot about the channel, I'm Dave, also known as Owl. We have one of the greatest chats in the world here. We have some great people in the chat. We have Dirty Diana here. We have Paula. Everybody in here. Dino, Heather's amazing. Jocelyn's in here somewhere. Shibby's in here. Tracy's right there. She knows pretty much everything. And I like to promote good, content creators. There's a lot of them in here. That's why everybody pretty much has wrenches. So if you want a wrench and you want to promote your channel, let me know and I'll give you a wrench.
Of 1967.
There was a lot of searching for him for a while.
Archivist Grant Wilson says, according to news articles, Ben was a business owner.
Appliance repair service.
And often carried large sums of money.
Brother tells the newspaper that he does believe foul play was involved. Yeah.
News articles show the community spent years searching for him.
There was an article about them searching a quarry, and they found 2 other cars, but didn't find his car.
And after 8 years,
he was declared dead.
A community and family left wondering what happened to Roy Ben.
We have strong suspicions that this is Mr. Ben's remains.
Benton County Sheriff Troy Heck is taking the lead.
What surgery is that? Did you mention it up here somewhere? I didn't see. It's okay if you don't want to tell me too.
Lead on this second phase of the investigation.
We are talking about human remains that have been in a river for 5 decades.
The remains are now being analyzed by a team at the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office in Ramsey, who are hoping to solve a mystery that has been lingering in central Minnesota for.
This must be pretty deep. I mean, it doesn't look very deep here, right? Like, for that to be a car in there for that long, but.
In central Minnesota for nearly 60 years.
And hopefully we're bringing some closure to some family and some maybe some answers.
Now, the Benton County Sheriff says that he expects it could take these medical examiners several days, possibly weeks.
Open heart surgery? Really? Okay. Let us know how that goes, please.
Weeks to identify the body. Now, if the ID does come back as Roy Ben, the question then becomes, how did he die? Was this an accident or was
this was done 2 days ago?
There possibly foul play involved? Back to you.
Gordon, do you know if he has any living relatives still in the state or who they'd be notifying?
Yeah, the sheriff tells me that there is at least.
I got to get up to Minnesota and up here. This looks awesome up here. This is amazing. This kind of looks very similar to New England right here.
One family member who still lives in the community. They wouldn't tell us how that person is related to him, but we do know there's at least one person that they are communicating with, giving them updates in this case.
All right.
Yes, please let us know how you're doing. For sure. It's very good to see you in here.
Thank you, Gordon.
All right, one more here. I do want to play this too. So, Let's do this one here. Did we just do this one? 1 day ago here.
Tonight, for the first time tonight, we're hearing from the family of the man missing nearly 60 years. His remains are believed to have been found in a car that was pulled from the bottom of the Mississippi this week. Police say the car was registered to Roy Benn, who went missing from Benton County in 1967. Gordon Severson spoke with Ben's great nephew today and is here with that story. Gordon?
Yeah, according to Jeff Benn, he is one of only 2 surviving relatives of Roy Benn. There's also an aunt who lives in the area. Jeff says he grew up hearing the stories about his great uncle with family members.
It looked just like New Hampshire. It looked just like around here.
Wondering if the mystery would ever be solved.
You know, I was only 2 years old when he went missing.
A great uncle.
Well, I wanted to ask Paula how the movie was, the new Naked Gun. I got to see that.
Well, he never knew, but Jeff Benn grew up hearing the stories and the many theories of what happened to Roy Benn.
You know, it's always been said that he had large amounts of cash on him and he was very well to do and suggested that somebody killed him, robbed him.
Benn says even
you have a ton of friends here.
Detectives at the time suspected foul play.
There was searches done with divers.
A search of a nearby quarry revealed 2.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay. Let me know how that goes because I want to read that.
Other cars,
please,
but not the car they were looking for.
Looked like a mystery that was never going to be solved.
Benn says he was shocked when he got the call this week.
Yeah, this is such a great chat. We got Paula in here, we got Bod in here, we got Dee Dee in here, we got usually Dino's in here, Shibby's always in here. Shibby's from Canada, but we'll excuse that. Yeah, you got a lot of good friends in here for sure. John Paul Hansen's in here too. He just got back. See, so feel free to mingle. I don't know.
That his great uncle's car was found nearly.
Southern Gal's probably in here too. Still, she probably fell asleep. A lot of good people.
60 years later in the Mississippi River in Sartell.
You know, and I was on the phone with the Benton County detective when they pulled the car out of the water and found the remains and found Roy's watch with cards on it with his name on it.
A team at the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office is now working to identify the human remains. Benn says they are likely using a DNA sample he provided to an investigator back in 2018.
They came and swabbed my cheek for DNA and put it into a nationwide missing person database.
Looking at the facts, Benn has developed his own theory of what may have happened to his great uncle.
From what I gathered, this was just an unfortunate ran off the road, went into the river, and nobody knew about it for 58 years.
He's waiting to see what the final report says, but either way, he's grateful to finally have some answers to the questions family members have been asking for nearly 60 years.
Relieved, I guess I would say, that there was finally an end to the family mystery of whatever happened to Roy.
It's truly amazing that nobody found this car until now. Jeff told me that when the dive team pulled the car out of the water, they found several fishing lures hanging on it. I'm sure a lot of those people assumed that their lure got snagged on a rock or something. They probably never imagined that their lure was stuck on a car that has been missing for nearly 60 years. And I think that just points to so many people were there within feet of this, not knowing.
Yeah,
that it was
this is
underwater.
truly an amazing story. I thought it was really something that they found what appear to be maybe business cards or something with his name on it that lasted all these years. And they talk about him having a lot of cash. Did they find any cash in the car?
Well, officials wouldn't confirm if they found any cash, but I did learn a little bit more about the amount that they might be talking about. I ran into the Sartell police chief, and he said that it was maybe like 500 or 1,000, which was a lot of money back then, but it's not maybe the $1,000 that maybe people were assuming they heard that. So, but no word yet on if they actually found any money and if it survived in that water.
All right. Thanks, Gordon.
All right, so that's the end of that. I do want to get into I'll keep an eye on that, find out what's going on with that. I want to play this too. So So this is, I'm not going to play, I don't think I'm going to play all of this, but hold on a second. Let me,
28 years.
Okay, so this is better here. Let's play this one here. Trudy. So this is Trudy Appleby's disappearance arrest are Crime Watch. So she, hold on a second. We'll play this one here.
This is a huge.
Okay. So there has been arrest made into Trudy Appleby's disappearance. So here we go. This is an old case. This is, but we'll hear about it.
Huge development in the case. It was over 1996 when Appleby was reported missing from her home in Moline. She was just 11 years old at the time and has never been seen since. That's tonight's
Exactly.
story. Trudy's family has never given up hope looking for her. Our Quad City's Gavin Waitling sat down with her uncle, who led the search efforts ever since she disappeared.
You never know when a snapshot that you take of somebody is going to be the last one, the last photo that you have of them.
Trudy Appleby's family has searched 29 years for answers about her disappearance. During that time, they've also worked hard to keep her memory alive.
Were you there that day?
All right, give me 2 minutes on that. I'll pull that up. Actually, let me type that in now before I forget more. Where am I? Seymour. Hold on a second here. Okay, yep, I got it right here. Yes. Okay, so let's finish this up.
Yeah, I was there that day. Trudy was out riding her bike. She had come over to Grandma and Grandpa's house for the day. My mom snapped a picture. She was 11 years old.
Trudy's relatives have patiently waited for more information about a suspect. And on Thursday, investigators gave them hope.
I'd rather them have all their ducks in a row instead of do it prematurely and have it backfire on them.
Now they feel they're one step closer to finding Trudy's body.
I feel like we're turning a page in the story, and now we can move on to the next chapter, whether it be a trial, but ultimately the end of the book is going to be when we can lay Trudy to rest, when I can put a headstone on that grave.
I think I got it. I think I can play it. Yep.
Edelman says if investigators recover her remains, he doesn't know what's next.
I'm having a hard time dealing with today. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the day we find Trudy. The day after, and I can't even imagine my life not having this searching for Trudy in it.
While he waits, he hopes to hold on to all he can remember of her.
When you lose somebody over time, you tend to forget little memories. And I think I've
This is so awful.
Forgotten more memories of Trudy than I can remember.
In Moline, Gavin Wadlick, our Quad Cities News.
Trudy Appleby's neighbor Kelly Carlson says her daughter knew something was wrong the morning after she went missing. Trudy didn't answer their daily phone call. Our Quad Cities' Riley Himmer reports Carlson remembers Trudy fondly.
Bar told me, Mom, Trudy's dad is looking for her. I think somebody took her.
Kelly Carlson's daughter and Trudy Appleby were best friends.
They were kind of like sisters in a way.
Carlson remembers the first time that they met.
I looked out the window and she was in my yard doing cartwheels and jumping up and down. And I said, hey, can I help you? And she said, yeah, my name's Trudy. I live down the street. She said, do you have any kids? And I said, yes, I do. And I sent my kids out.
She says that Trudy was one of the neighborhood's most vivacious kids.
She was always skipping. She would skip down the road to our house and she would skip back home. She liked to rollerblade. And so the kids would be out in the street or out down in the church lot rollerblading all the time. And she liked to eat hot dogs and mac and cheese. Just an 11-year-old little girl.
Thursday's indictment brought Carlson feelings of relief.
It's a step that was a long time coming. Because in the beginning, some people thought she ran away, and we knew she didn't run away.
And she believes Trudy's.
I'm telling you, man, if there's one thing I can change in true crime and law enforcement and all of the things that I complain and bitch about, is this right here. Like, they need to start taking people's words seriously. Like, if a parent, especially mom, if mom comes to you and you're law enforcement and they say, my daughter's missing, she's not a runaway, she would have never done this, they need to start taking this fucking shit seriously. This is ridiculous.
His late mother, Brenda, would feel the same.
She would be relieved, and she would probably say, what took you guys so long? What took so long?
Carlson says only one thing remains missing.
Trudy.
JP's awesome. JP's got some great freaking music. Great channel. And now he's got like 10 wrenches, because every time he comes up with a new name, he's got probably got him and Charles, man. They probably got like 10 wrenches, which is okay. That's fine.
Because as soon as they find Trudy, those posters are coming off my windows. I've had a missing poster on my window for 29 years.
In Moline, Riley Hemmer, our Quad Cities News.
It will be up to Henry County State's attorney to lead the prosecution against the man charged with Appleby's murder. Investigators say Henry County is where they believe she was killed. A Henry County grand jury issued the indictment in the case against 50-year-old Jamison Fisher. Moline Police Chief Darren Galt indicated in 2020 Fisher was a person of interest in Appleby's disappearance. The indictment charges Fisher with 3 counts of murder and concealing a body. Rock Island County State's Attorney and the Office of the Appellate Prosecutor
Person of interest since 2023, counts of unaliving, 1 count of concealing a body.
will help Henry County try the case. Word of today's development came during a joint news conference in Henry County with Moline Police and Rock Island County's State's Attorney. Moline's Police Chief Darren Galt said investigators collected enough evidence for the grand jury to charge Fisher despite not locating Appleby's body. They have not
I'll have to download the indictment.
indicated what new evidence helped secure the indictment or if they have any new leads about where Appleby's remains could be. Henry County State's Attorney says it won't be the first prosecution of a murder case without a body. Moline Police Chief Darren Galt hopes this provides some peace for Appleby's family and the.
I mean, what's the worst case scenario, right? You investigate it and the person comes home. End of story, right? But let's start with the worst possible scenario first and then work back from there. I just don't, and I know they got a lot to do. I know they're overworked. I get it. Overworked, underfunded, whatever, blah, blah, but you got to listen to the mother, as far as I'm concerned.
Community.
Listen, today is not about celebration. It's about a resolution. It's about accountability. And most importantly, it's about Trudy Appleby. This arrest does not erase the pain, but it does bring us one step closer to closure.
Illinois Congressman Eric Zorn.
I mean, I can count on my, like, there's so many of the same thing all the time. You hear it all the time. They'll be back, or they're just probably at a friend's house, or no, get out and look for them. That's what you got to do.
Person took to social media to thank law enforcement for their work in the arrest, saying in part, quote, "My heart is with Trudy's family and everyone who has carried her memory through the decades." Several organizations have aided.
You know, it's a good question. I haven't done anything the Travis Deckard thing in a while. He's probably dead though.
In the search for answers about Trudy Appleby over the past 30 years. One of those organizations is the Quad Cities Missing Persons Network. Our Quad Cities Ben Klein reports finding missing people and not killers is the network's goal.
Hey, Cumbersome 55, good to see you. I'm getting lightning now, Deets. You're getting lightning in Canada? If you look to the left, you're lying, and if you look to the right, you're telling the truth, or is it the I don't know. I'm smart enough to know that.
Our mission is to find the missing. It's not to solve a crime. But in this case, we have to solve the crime in order to find the missing.
The Quad Cities Missing Persons Network has worked relentlessly to find answers about Trudy Appleby's disappearance. The network was founded by Dennis Harker. He says identifying Trudy's killer is only the first step in her case.
It's celebratory in the fact that you know that you have probably somebody who's committed the crime, and it's a step forward. And I think it's the potential to find out where she's at. It doesn't change the fact that she's still missing, and that we need to find something, find out where she's at.
This is something you never want to have right here.
Harker's hopeful Jameson Fisher's arrest will help in recovering Trudy's remains.
I think the opportunity is here now with the fact that they have somebody in custody that may have the information that they want and share it.
He emphasizes anyone with information about a missing person should report it right away.
Don't wait a week before you call and say, hey, you know, they've been missing a week, where are they? Sometimes that doing things in a quick manner and being prompt is going to be all the difference in the world in finding somebody.
Ben Klein, our Quad Cities News.
I keep forgetting Mustang's got a channel 2, Mustang 1965. So I've already subscribed to Mustang. Better than Sandstorms, absolutely. We had a thunderstorm that blew through here a few days ago and just lit up a barn down the road. Just blew it the hell up. I went down there to help out, but they had the whole street blocked off, so I couldn't do anything. All right, so keep an eye on this here, but at least they arrested somebody. We'll see what happens with that. But oh, this poor kid, it just sucks so bad. It's just awful, man. It's terrible. All right, so these guys wanted me to play this. Hold on one second. I hope this is the right one. So this came from, this is something that Tracy wanted here. This sicko. Man arrested in Seymour for 18 counts of CM. Police have arrested a man in Seymour for multiple counts of CM. Let's do this here. Hold on a second here.
Southern Indiana man is accused of sexually assaulting a child for years. Seymour police arrested 56-year-old Michael Jolly today. Police say after they talked to a girl and
he assaulted 3 victims, faces 18 counts of CM, and he's in a Jackson County jail. This is in Indiana.
collected more information. They then discovered 2 more victims. Jolly is charged with 18 counts of child molesting. He is in the Jackson County Jail waiting on an arraignment.
That was it. That's it. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's that. Hold on a second here. Wave News. Seymour Police Department stated in a social media post on June 13, 2025, they received a report that a female child had been SA'd over several year period. What a douchebag. As a result, police arrested 56-year-old Michael Jolly. They should post this guy's face all over the place, man. It's just, Jolly was taken to Jackson County Jail where he awaits for his arraignment. So That's it on that one there. Wait a minute.
New at 11, a Southern Indiana man is accused of sexually assaulting a child for years. Seymour police arrested
I just played that
56-year-old
one.
Michael Jolly today. Police say after they information, they then discovered 2 more victims.
What a creepy guy. Look at this guy.
Jolly is charged with 18 counts of child molesting. He is in the Jackson County Jail waiting on an arraignment.
John Robert Schultz. Okay.
Yes, seeing the skyline.
Whoops.
After going blind.
All right. So that's that. Oh, what a winner. Yes. Creepy. All right. So that's that. Well, I was halfway down Madbury Road in Durham when it started raining out, and down and a little further down. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Have a good night, Paula. We love you, Paula. Have a great week. Paula's amazing. Paula's just awesome. All right, so I want to get into this before I get out of here, because this has come up again. There's been another body found, and the first story we did tonight about the missing pregnant girl there. All right, so the New England serial unaliver mystery, top cop probes creepy case connections, rumors of possible SK around the loose in New England are swirling again. So now head of the Massachusetts State Police are weighing in. What does his carefully worded comments really mean? Because I found another body. So play this here.
From the person who heads up the Massachusetts State Police. That is a big deal. Now, before we get into those comments and what they mean, and we'll talk about it, what am I talking about here? Well, there have been a series of deaths in the New England area, and there has been speculation that there is a connection, that there is potentially a serial killer. Let me lay it out for you. March 6th, the body of 35-year-old Paige Fannin from West Islip, New York, was recovered in the Norwalk River out in Connecticut, near Main Avenue and Gristmill Road by the Norwalk Police Department's scuba team and fire personnel. According to Police Lieutenant Tomasz Podgorski, the river was, quote, flowing rapidly due to the heavy rain overnight. Clothing and personal items were reportedly found near the bank of the river. In fact, I'll tell you, a GoFundMe was set up in Paige's memory, and it reads in part, Paige has left behind 2
Okay,
amazing...
so let me share. We've done this before. We tracked all of this stuff, right? We did the whole thing, but I just want to show you the image here. Whoop. So these are this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And this right outside of Taunton here, this is 95 right here, right? We did that right outside of Taunton here, a little bit to the southwest here is where we just were talking about that the pregnant 11th week pregnant woman went missing right down in here. So I'm not saying that that's connected to this, but they have found another person, so could be, right? All right, so let me get out of that there. Come back into this. I've been here 3 hours and 30 minutes. I got to get out of here soon. Let's play some of this here.
Amazing parents, 2 sisters, and 1 brother, along with many more family members to mourn. If you had the honor of knowing Paige, you would know how deeply she cared for who she loved. Due to the loss of someone so young, no family is ever ready for something like this. With that being said, I ask whatever you can contribute to help, even if it's just spreading the word.
I mean, law enforcement is basically passing the buck on this, and I wanted to do Jesse Calhoun tonight too, but I can't because I'm not going to have any time. But they said the same thing about him. They said the same about those cases, that they weren't connected, that blah blah blah, and come to find out he's responsible for 5 now, so, or at least charged with 5.
Word would be of great appreciation from her loved ones. Next, also on March 6th, Currently unidentified human remains were found by a hunter in a wooded
At this point, my eye probably is high.
area near Route 3 in Plymouth, Massachusetts, so approximately 180 miles away from Norwalk. According to Boston 25 and Boston.com, a police report indicates that authorities found a human skull with nasal and jaw portions missing under leaves. It was reportedly green in color, appeared to be weathered. This is according to a police report per Boston.com. And also, Boston 25 reported that this sparked interest from the families of two missing women, Sandra Crispo, who vanished 5 years before this, and Brittany McCormick, who disappeared in July of 2021. But to be clear, nothing to indicate at this point that the remains belong to either woman. Then you have the brutal killing of 58-year-old Suzanne Wormser of Groton. Her remains were found in a suitcase.
But this is the one that's not, so just disregard this one because they already have the one in Groton. They already had arrested somebody.
Near the Colonel Ledyard Cemetery in Connecticut on March 19th. Now, on April 25th, police announced the arrest of 68-year-old Donald Kofel, charging him with Wormser's murder, tampering with evidence, proper disposal of a body. He allegedly confessed to police to killing this woman he once lived with by saying, "All right, man, I did it. I hit her in the head with a bleeping baseball bat and it cracked her bleeping head open." And by the way, when it comes to him, according to local reporting, he has since died in jail. Next, we go to March 20th. Now we go to New Haven, Connecticut. So over 150 miles away from Plymouth, 50 miles from Groton, a little over 30 miles from Norwalk. According to police, this is where the remains of 59-year-old mother Denise Leary are discovered in a wooded area, and they were reportedly in a state of advanced decay. Now, the Office of Chief Medical Examiner confirmed the body was that of Denise, and according to WFSB, Denise had been missing since September 20th, 2024, had last been seen in her home, had been reportedly suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. Mass Live reporting, though, that the investigation has not indicated this is a homicide. March 26, Foster, Rhode Island, almost 90 miles from New Haven, approximately 50 or so miles from Groton, 120 miles from Norwalk, for reference. The body of 56-year-old Michelle Romano was found in a wooded area 8 months after she disappeared and was reported missing by a family member. Investigators confirmed they were looking into the, quote, suspicious circumstances surrounding her death, with WJAR reporting that authorities searched a home in Warwick, Rhode Island that was thought to be the last known address of Michelle. WPRI reporting that Michelle was considered by friends to be generous and a loving and devoted mother of two. A Facebook group had been set up for Michelle as well. A post from April 1st reads, "Yesterday, our family received the devastating update that Michelle had been found, and we will never, ever let Michelle be forgotten." And the post encourages anyone with information to reach out to the Rhode Island State Police. April 9th, unidentified human remains were found in Killingly, Connecticut. So that's less than 10 miles from Foster, over 80 miles from New Haven, a little over 40 miles from Groton. They were found, according to ABC6, on a dead-end road by a body of water, apparently near railroad tracks. Then the next day, April 10th, Framingham, Massachusetts, 60 miles from Killingly, 60 or so miles from Foster, almost 100 miles from Groton. Firefighters found human remains near the Massachusetts Turn.
This is just really interesting, and I'm not saying that these are all connected, but it is weird because, you know, they all seem to be along pretty serious routes here. Like, it would be easy to get from location to location on some of these highways here.
Turnpike. This happened while they were fighting a brush fire. Now, the DA's office indicated, quote, "The preliminary information indicates that the remains may have been there for several months. Information gathered at the scene does not indicate foul play." According to Metro West Daily News at the time, the remains were sent over to a forensic anthropologist at the office of the chief medical examiner. You go to April 22nd, Springfield police found a woman near a bike path on the 1500 block of Hull.
I've always said one of the biggest problems in life is trying to find a good bass player. I went through that for a good 14, 15 years of my life. Just couldn't find
Hall of Fame Avenue. She was declared dead, later identified as 45-year-old Megan Meredith. Now, we have been all on top of this New England story for a while now. And the reason that we can be on top of a story like this and really break it down and bring you updates is because of the amazing support that we get from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm. This is a firm with over a below or scanning the QR code on screen. Hampden County District Attorney Anthony Guluni said 2 days later, "We understand the unease that comes with such acts of violence, and we want the community to know that each of these cases is being thoroughly investigated in close coordination with our law enforcement partners. While online conversations around these incidents continue to grow, we urge the public to be mindful of the role that social media can play in spreading fear or misinformation. Unverified claims can compromise active investigations and contribute to a sense of chaos that does not reflect the full picture." And that kind of echoes other statements that we heard from law enforcement when, for example, the Connecticut State Police released a statement to people after the remains were found in Killingly.
I really hate how they just shit on social media, right? Where the news media can say whatever they want, but you know, when there's a fracas like this going on, just shit on social media, right? So weird.
Said this investigation is in the early stages, remains active and ongoing, and there is no information at this time suggesting any connection to similar remains discoveries actively under investigation by CSP or other Connecticut law.
Have a great week, Heather. Is Heather taking off? We love you, Heather. Get some good sleep. I'm going to get out of here too. I've been here almost 4 hours. My God. This investigation is in early stages, remain active and ongoing. There's no information at this time suggesting any connection to the similar remains discoveries actively under investigated by CSP or there is no known threat to the public at this time. Yes, sure.
Law enforcement agencies. There is no known threat to the public at this time. Groton, Connecticut Police issued a statement that said in part, regarding references circulating on social media about incidents in the state of Rhode Island, we currently have no information connecting those events to any of the incidents in Groton. By the way, Groton Police Chief Louis Fusaro told WTNH on April 11th, "I would tell people, don't rush to judgment." But now, as I said, we are hearing from Massachusetts State Police, the leader of the MSP, Colonel Jeffrey Noble. And this is significant because the Massachusetts State Police serves as the statewide law enforcement agency and maintains investigative, tactical, and support units throughout the Commonwealth. And what he said was published in the Boston Herald. He came out, he said, there is no evidence right now about a serial killer.
Like the Boston Herald has any credibility.
But that he is, quote, tracking the cases. He said, quote, as a former homicide detective, certainly I am tracking the news of these tragic deaths. There is no evidence to indicate that there is a serial killer at the moment. Detectives are very much monitoring and tracking and aware of these cases. And certainly, if we do uncover similarities or consistencies between the cases, they have our attention for sure.
Like, what the fuck? Oh my God. I gotta read this again. This is fucking classic. There is no evidence to indicate that there is a SKR at this moment. Detectives are very much monitoring and tracking and aware of these cases. What the hell does that mean? And certainly if we do uncover similarities or consistencies, then they'll have our attention. What the? Oh my God. No wonder why this place is crazy. Oh man.
So let me bring in right now retired FBI agent and attorney Bobby Chacon to make sense of what those statements mean.
It's a wonder how anything gets done at all. This guy here is awesome. Jacqueline is awesome.
Bobby, good to see you. What do those statements mean?
Good to see you too, Jesse. Look, at the most basic level,
it pretty much means we're all freaking crazy and don't trust anything anybody says. That's basically what that says. That's the most controversial statement I think I've ever read in my life.
they mean they can't shut the door on the serial killer theory.
Oh my God, you can't make this stuff up, man. Just, oh my Lord. Oh, this is funny shit. This is classic.
They just can't. And that's prudent. Although you want to not panic the public. So you want to say, look, this one, we know what happened. This one, we know what happened. These, we don't know what happened. And so, as we get more cases in and we take closer looks at them, we will.
I'm not supposed. I shouldn't be laughing. This is criminal shit, right? But this, oh man. Okay, all right. You gotta wonder who's running the show here, right? This isn't very good. This is not good, right? Because they've been telling people for the last year that these nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. And then the Massachusetts State Police Colonel comes out with that shit. Like, oh my God, these people are crazy.
Explore whether or not these are connected. Right now, we don't see anything, but we're not closing the door on that as a future possibility. So I think that's,
why not? Right? That's the key, right? Why not? They could have just dismissed it and said, look, these are all isolated incidents. We don't see a connection. But to not rule it out, now it's not.
And then they tell social media people to, oh my gosh, these people need to see a shrink, man. These guys,
a case where we could just say, oh, these are just online theories. These are just conspiracy theories. There's something about it. Is it the level? Is it the level of interest? Is it the frequency of the bodies? Is it the locations where they say there might be a 5% chance there's a connection here?
Yeah, I think it's location at first. That's why we're calling it the possible potential New England, right? New England is the geographic area. So I think at its most basic, it's a geographic.
I put it this way: I trust this guy Bob more than I trust anybody in Massachusetts State Police. Period. Like, if he's saying you can't shut the door, I'm going to go with that, because apparently Massachusetts doesn't have a clue to what they're freaking doing at all.
Area. And then, of course, you start to look at more victimology and the demographics of the victims. Women, young white women, whatever it be. You start making a list and kind of categorizing everything, and you start to see up on your big board how many matches you have. And like you said, is this a 95% match? Is this a 5% match? And at what point do we kind of push it off the board when we get it?
So next week, I know what I'm going to be doing. We're going to probably have to go over the timeline and events again, because it looks pretty serious. It looks pretty suspect to me, just because it's kind of along the same kind of routes, and you could kind of see somebody just, looking for people to kind of abduct, and it's just strange how all of a sudden now they're saying, well, we can't really kind of rule it out.
Really, when we get an arrest, left remain, and you take closer and closer and closer looks at those cases that are still up on that board, and you try to find the similarity. What the chief said, what their fusion center does is what the FBI's VICAP does on a nationwide basis.
And to be clear, the people that have been arrested in connection with what now could be argued to be isolated incidents, there's no evidence as of right now, at least public evidence, to suggest that they are somehow implicated or connected or responsible to the other deaths. Could that change? Maybe. But just to put a fine point on this,
they said, I'm telling you, they said the same thing about the whole Jesse Calhoun thing over there in the Northwest. Like, no, there's nothing going on here, nothing to see here, none of these are connected. And then all of a sudden, the public will be the last to know.
Are you saying there might be a unit or a series of detectives, part of the MSP, who are actively, like you said, have a chalkboard looking for connections in all these cases? Or are they waiting for something to determine there's a connection? Are they going through each one of these cases in these different locations?
Hey, Donnie, good to see you. Always good to see you. I don't know where the hell Charlotte is. I hope Charlotte's okay. I haven't seen Charlotte around for a while. I got about another 2 minutes and I'm going to get the hell out of here.
Are they coordinating with different
I've seen enough after this story. This is,
agencies to try to get as much information as possible? Is there, and this is so juvenile to say, is there like a New England serial killer task force that's looking at all these connections right now and trying to see if there's some similarities or not?
I don't think there is yet. What I think there is a loose collection of investigators and really analysts. This comes down to our criminal analysts who do this kind of work, who really dig into the details of what the investigators have come up with, because each case has its own set of investigators depending on its jurisdiction. They have detectives assigned to that case that are looking into that case specifically, because every case has a perpetrator and every case needs someone directed at that perpetrator. So and kind of block out the noise from all this other stuff. So that detective or investigator has to look at that case and chase down that perpetrator. And so and then you have a larger picture, and that's because the analysts kind of can put that picture together. They can keep track of what's happening in these other jurisdictions, in other cases. When it comes time, like you said, if it matures enough to where they have, so kind of like we saw the Long Island Serial Killer Task Force, where you have a task force put together, I mean, that's when I think they come out publicly and they announce that we are looking into these things as a possible serial killer. I don't think they're there yet. I don't know that they'll get there. They might, but I don't think they're there yet. I think what you have is a loose collection of analysts kind of talking to each other. And as one gets thrown off the board and another one comes on, they start looking at similarities.
yeah, 10 more bodies will start thinking about it. It's so, oh my God, it's just so horrible. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I've been in here long enough. I've taken up way too much of your time. I'll keep track of this here, but obviously we're dealing with incompetence. It's just, oh my God. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Everybody's been awesome. It's been great chat. You guys are great. John Paul, thank you so much. Miranda, always good to see you. Donnie Kuntz, thanks, buddy. Always good to see you in here too. Some of the new people, Tracy, thank you so much for coming in. I hope I played what you want me to play. If not, I'm going to put my, hold on a second. Let me, this is my email again here. You can send that to my email because, I might have pulled up the wrong one. I'm not sure. Anyways, Jocelyn was in here. Jocelyn's amazing. Latoya, thank you for coming in. We had Shibby's in here. Shibby's awesome. Dino, I think Heather went to sleep finally. Heather's amazing. My son was in here. Dino O, I guess we'll call him. Dieter, thank you. If I miss anybody tonight, I'm sorry. I went way over here, almost 4 hours. Can you believe that? Holy crap. I know Southern Gal was in here. Southern Gal is amazing. Dirty Diana was in here. Dirty Diana's awesome. Great channel. Dirty Diana's got a great channel. Mustang was in here. Mustang's got a channel too. Thank you, Mustang. Did I see Didi at Cumbersome 55? Thank you so much for coming in. If I miss anybody tonight, I apologize. See what it is, I can't scroll all the way up to the very beginning. It'll take forever. So if I miss somebody, I apologize for that. Big Fish was in here. Big Fish was awesome. Gretchen was in here. I always forget those two. Thank you guys very much. I feel like we got a pretty good thing going on here. You guys are great. Let's see here. Electric Meerkat was in here. Always good to see Electric Meerkat. I'll scroll up a little bit more. People on the replay too. I know there's a ton of people who watch on the replay, and I really appreciate that. Peggy O was in here. Peggy O's got a great channel. Awesome channel. I can't wait to see more stuff from that channel there. Dandy was in here. I can't forget Dandy. Dandy is amazing. Thank you for filling me in on the Frankie stuff. I hope Frankie's not shut down. Frankie's amazing. She's got the greatest laugh. His mugshot is great. Yeah, he's a piece of dog crap. I'll try to come on tomorrow morning if there's anything going on in the tropics, but I doubt it. Going to be most of a fish story, so that's that. Yes, Latoya is awesome. Thank you so much for coming in here, Latoya. We'll check out your channel too. Again, thank everybody for coming in. Let me stop sharing this here, and I'm going to play my outro and get the hell out of here because it's oh my god, it's 5 o'clock. You poor people. I feel so bad. All right, let me play an outro, and then I'll get out of here. All right, is that this one here? You guys have a great week. Goodbye.